We need like a catchy intro song. Wait, can you do the you have the countdown thing? Was that on here? Or was that the other
somewhere
thing?
it's in here somewhere, but it's so loud.
Clearly I haven't played with any of these things. Just go on Fiverr and get someone to do a cool intro for us.
I thought about that many times. Close some of these tabs up.
Wait, is this brand color? Is this accurate? This hex code? It says it's important. It says it's important to brand your broadcast. This color is used in your banners, on-screen comments, and display name. Is that our brand color? Or are you changing it?
No. I know you're changing it.
No, I know, but it's weird because it's changing after I changed it. It's thrilling.
Bebop.
It's cool that they give you some options. I mean, they're not like particularly inspired options, but I feel like text in squares is kind of on brand for does not compute.
Yeah. Verbato.
Where's our did you turn off our titles? Did I turn off our titles?
What titles?
Like our names. I guess we don't need them.
How do you... What? I didn't turn it. Wait. Oh, display names are always hidden when a banner is showing.
Oh, weird.
Whoop, there they are.
There's some logic there.
That didn't used to be a thing, right?
Now I'm second guessing everything that I know.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Especially you, Sean. You sound like you need it. Joe.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, it's been a long week of the client messaging and, oh, hey, I'm working on the pipeline. I'm like, oh, no.
Touching the pipeline.
We could talk about it more, but yeah.
Sure.
Basically, like, getting up, yeah. Not trying to throw any shade at the client. Like, I understand what it's like to be at a busy startup, but don't, like, half build a thing and then give it to me when there's 850 ESLint errors. Like, you built the thing, didn't run ESLint once.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Joe,
That happened.
we might be coming to New Hampshire in like a month. Jess will ping you with more details. We'll put this in the parking lot for now. But it might be cool to see you. Might be. Man. You sticking with the spaceship background? Is that what you're going with?
Oh, yeah, I have a different one I can try.
Oh, I didn't even notice your headphones, bro. I haven't seen the space gray yet. Or whatever they call it. The not black ones.
There we are.
I love it. I love it. Say something witty and look at the camera. No pressure.
Just take a nap.
The secret is to undercook the onions.
Drops of chili.
Dude, I probably peed myself laughing watching that.
And he kind of like, he cries a little when he's scraping it up with the lid of the pot. No.
He's using like the manila folder. Oh my god.
Well, 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 well. That's 4 wells. Little did he know it was 5.
If I was in a bunker and had with what was it, Toby, Hitler, and Stalin, and I had 2 bullets, I would shoot Toby twice.
Mm-hmm.
Identity theft is not a joke, Joe. Millions suffer every year.
Bears beats Battlestar. That's right.
Some pretty bare-looking show notes today.
Yeah, what do you got on your plate?
I got an empty bullet point. I don't know. I really don't know, man.
We can get into it. I'm sure I can strike a vein. To set you off.
You're the one who's all riled up, man. You're out of control right now.
You don't know what I'm looking at on my other monitor or
I
my
can, see,
other.
I can see the reflection of the Rust documentation in your glasses.
It's not Rust.
It's Veet. You're looking at Veet.
Veet is nice. So, like, in most cases, I would recommend Veet for stuff unless you're, enterprise, or unless you're that you have like a bunch of sort of out of the box requirements or things you want to do or need to do. Otherwise, Veet's great. It has just what you need, mostly everything that you need. It's super fast, easy to configure, a lot simpler to configure than Webpack.
Is there a situation you run into where you like get halfway done with your project and you realize you need something that only supports Webpack, or like has it as a PR from like 6 months ago that hasn't been resolved?
Not that I'm aware of. Veet's the velocity of it is pretty quick. There's actually quite a few people working on it. One of the big things, like, we can talk more about this actually after we're recording, which reminds me you have to start up this and Audio Hijack. But also, like, the project I'm on, we're kind of evaluating a couple of different ideas. Like, if we have 2 applications and the account settings are the same, like you're using the same user and everything like that, do we copy and paste the code? Probably not. Do we?
No, I mean, don't just discount that, man.
It's like a bunch of pages and configuration settings and like 2-factor auth flows and stuff like that. So it's not just like
talking models. You're talking.
No, I'm talking like the whole account settings area. So yeah, probably don't copy paste the code for that.
No.
You could make a separate application, but then we got 3. We floated the
Rails
idea.
Engine.
We floated the idea. Floated the idea of like mono repo, so that way we don't have 3 separate project configurations and apps and stuff, and that got shot down. So the other option is to use something like Webpack module federation.
All right, we should be saving this.
That's gonna rock your world.
Right.
You're not gonna like it.
No,
You're not gonna like
probably
it.
not. We'll save this. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say just make a third thing as a single sign-on app and just do the thing.
Yeah, that's gonna what I would suggest doing. Make it its own standalone application.
So anyway, welcome to the show. We're not recording yet.
I'm getting stressed out already. Not really stressed out, but it's like, why? It's needlessly complex, you know?
Let's pull at that thread. It's a good thing you didn't get the green AirPods Max because they would just be invisible. You just have like some holes in your head.
I would take them off, but then it would pause my audio, like pause the music and stuff. Because they're like normal, like if you take AirPods out, it'll pause whatever you're listening to.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like that.
That's funny.
We can talk more about that, but I actually, like, these are nice. They're
Well, all right.
they're kind of like what I've wanted anyway. So
Okay. Well,
the
let's do it,
noise
man.
canceling on them is like real nice.
I'm actually trying to remember if I have any topics that I wanted to talk about last week but didn't get around to.
2 weeks ago?
Well, with Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
What did I do? No, just more of the same. The wallpaper is great. Can you find the Office theme on Spotify and put it on in the background?
If we want to get struck on Twitch.
Yeah, don't do that. Dun 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 dun. That's all I got.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Push the button.
All right. Check. I got levels. Got levels in my microphone.
Same.
You all ready for this?
My chair won't let me lean back. I have it so it's like making me sit straight up.
So, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, lots of lag.
Check and see what Watson's doing.
Where is Anthony located in the world?
I couldn't tell you. Probably shouldn't tell you live either, if I do.
No, I know, but like when I was editing the show last week, your audio, the two tracks were very, like I didn't have to do any correction for latency.
I'm pretty sure he's
So-
West Coast.
Yeah, I imagine he's West Coast because it was that was another thing that made that easy to edit. The Scrantones, Electric City, or what was that thing? What was the band name?
Oh, Scrantonicity.
Scrantonicity.
2, not 1, which he's no longer a part of.
No, of course not. No. Why would you even bring that up? I have Synchronicity on vinyl over here somewhere.
What's up? Like
Fine.
we haven't
Yes, good.
talked in I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks besides raging about something you know nothing about for a minute and then leaving.
Usually involving JavaScript, TypeScript.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to rage about because I see it every day, so it's I can't rage about Ruby if I'm not writing it.
Ruby's like a platonic solid. It's like this ideal thing that doesn't need to be messed with at all. So I don't see why you could have any I don't see why you could have any criticism of Ruby.
I want you to go ahead and bring that up on your next Stockyard stand-up. See what happens. Especially when Chris McCord's around.
So many ways to shoot yourself in the foot with Ruby.
Yeah. Yeah, so it has been a long week for me. I don't how's it been for you? I'm pretty like worn out.
Yeah, it's been okay. I've been we had to sort of pause on our development for this week because we needed to do a spike, whatever a spike is.
Research ticket.
It's some yeah, but what does that mean, Sean? Is it some kind
Basic-
of just agile thing?
Yeah, it's an agile thing. Basically, the spike is you go away, you research a thing, and then the deliverable is that you have like actionable things that you can do as a result of the spike.
Sure, but what does it come from? Is it come from volleyball? Is it
I don't
come
know,
from
man.
like by the end of the week I want to put a spike through my eye?
Could be.
We're doing a spike on an API that basically is not fully done, and so we needed to come up with a hard list of like, hey, people giving us this API, we need XYZ by this date, or else like we needed to figure something out. It's a hard conversation to
Yeah.
have, but and luckily everything worked out pretty much fine. We confirmed what everything was working pretty much as we expected, and the missing stuff was we already knew what we were missing, and they said they're working on it. 3 weeks it'll be done, so double that, right? And then,
That's
no,
some wisdom right there.
I'm serious. Like, I'm
Right.
not holding my breath, but we have plenty of work to do up until the point where we actually need to implement this. So it's not going to be a blocker for us, right? Like, this is a thing that we're going to get to eventually. So hopefully by the time we're done doing everything else, it will be ready for us to consume. So, fingers crossed, knock on wood and all that. But all in all, it went pretty well. It's cool to, take this kind of new API, new service, third party thing that we're implementing and see it all kind of work as expected. That's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Even
one of
it's
the
a little-
feelings why we all kind of started programming in the first place anyway, right?
It's nice putting pixels on the screen, man. All I can think about is who were we talking with? It said time to first pixel. That was with Eric Normand, I think. Right, we're talking about prioritizing like design, like what do you decide to work on first?
Mm.
I think that was him. Anyway, someone's used the phrase "time to first pixel," and I've really been sort of hanging on to that phrase as a motivation for like just getting things done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a corollary to the 12 things on the getting things done, or the cult of done.
The quickest way to gaining momentum, I think, is seeing something on the screen.
Absolutely.
That's what I was talking this last weekend. I was talking with Paul and maybe some other people, and that's one of the things I've been trying to do is sort of optimize my non-MetaLab work for momentum. So what that means is like at night when I'm watching TV, I'll get my iPad out and I'll open up the GitHub app and that's when I work on like ticketing and thinking about like what I want to do, which direction I want to take it. And then I'll start making like cards into the GitHub project. I'll do all kind of the non-building stuff. So that way, like on a Saturday or a Sunday or, during the weeknight, if I'm feeling inspired, that stuff's already done. I don't sit down and be like, what can I be doing next? It's sort of there. I just grab a card move it into in progress and go.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing the low effort, low cognitive load things in a time when you're just tired and you just want to do something, but you're not feeling motivated. That's absolutely a good use of that time.
Yeah, because I need to do it. I need that feeling of I've done something productive. That's something that like if it's like a whole weekend and I don't do something productive, if I'm just kind of sitting around and I feel, I don't know, like I should have, like I wasted time, if that makes sense. So I mean, I don't mean to say that like I'm not getting the rest I need. I'm, making sure I'm sleeping enough and I'm, making sure I'm taking care of other stuff. But I think like that feeling of having produced something or been productive is important for like me being happy or me feeling okay.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I had a thought for this. But yeah, the trick is obviously finding the balance between, you don't always, not everything has to be a side hustle, right? Like it's okay to
Yeah.
sit on the couch and play video games a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's okay to rage in Warzone with my brother every couple of nights and stuff like that. I'm also learning to translate that feeling of productivity to other things that are non-tech related or non-side project related. So this, I'm in California and wildfires are a thing here. And so Jamie and I went to a neighborhood presentation, you might call it, by the fire department they're basically just kind of educating, like, here are the risks in your area. Here are things to look out for. Here are things you can do to what they call harden your house or harden your property. So, clean out brush, make sure you don't have vegetation within 5 feet of your house, clean out your gutters, things like that. So, coming away with like basically a to-do list, like, okay, these are things that I've now learned that should be done. And so you can go and do those. So I've been learning to translate that the feeling of like working on a side project or feeling productive to non-tech things like, okay,
Life.
well, we have a wooden fence and it sits in the sun all day, every day. So it's going to be dry wood, So maybe don't let the grass get long by the fence. Maybe like put, a rock barrier along the entire fence so that way it's non-combustible fuel up against the wooden fence. So things like that.
And now you've got a Kanban board and you've got a backlog of things to do to your house, and you're giving priorities to things and points, and suddenly you're full agile again.
Suddenly Jamie and I are having stand-ups
Family stand-ups
for the backyard.
I love the idea of a family stand-up. Forget family game night. Family stand-ups are where it's at now. That's great.
Yeah, so
Well, that's good. I mean, we've talked a lot about
my audio's cutting in and out for whatever reason, I think.
I'm getting a lot of background, like a fan or something. Is that unless it's me? No, it's definitely you. It's like a whirring noise.
I think it's on my side.
It is, yeah. What are
Here,
you doing over there?
Nothing. Just sitting here.
You got
Let
a
me
grow
reload real
op?
quick.
Got a meth lab? What are you doing? Oh, hi everyone. I'm full screen. So,
We're back.
oh. My head grew 2
What's up?
sizes that day.
What's up, Matt? He's jumping. Yeah, I don't know. It seems back now.
Visual clues on our end might say differently.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the fire stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not the stand up 2-week sprint mode yet for any of that stuff.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. We were talking. I just want to pivot a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get into this discussion that you and I had in Discord 20 minutes ago.
Oh no.
Can I quote you?
Sure.
This is Sean Washbot in Discord. Quote, "What if I just wrote a bunch of JavaScript at work where I'm paid, and then elsewhere just write whatever I want?" End quote. What if, Sean?
I didn't say that. That was. You must be. So there must be an impersonator.
What well, you gotta check your cookies then, man. You're being hacked. What is that about? Like I you've talked a lot recently about you're doing JavaScript at work, TypeScript, whatever. It's all the same garbage, right? It's all the same dumpster fire. What and you have this sort of feeling like if you're doing side projects, you should probably also do them in JavaScript using the same kind of tools, use it as a way to learn the new tech and test things out on toy projects before you so you become familiar with them and learn what they're all about before you can maybe apply them to your job or whatever. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I mean you might be able to extend that with using it sort of as like an upskilling, right? So if I don't feel confident enough to be able to do what they need me to do on something, I could use that as an avenue to get to that level.
A spike, if you will.
A spike, if you will. Yeah. It's, yeah, my views are changing a little bit, I think, as I was mentioning to you, or maybe my approach is maybe changing a little bit, but I've been thinking more about that idea of like, you know, I think that during work, so there's a lot of conversation around L&D, like learning and development, and, you know, people learning to become, you know, move from junior to intermediate to senior, et cetera. And a lot of people that you might talk to would say that that learning should probably happen inside of work, right? Otherwise, you're probably going to burn out. Or certainly, you know, the encouragement is there should be avenues for you to do this through the work that you're doing day to day, and it shouldn't require you to be putting in extra time outside of work.
Yeah, I mean, you think about other professions, right? Like electricians don't come home and, you know, redo the wiring in their house or whatever. I mean, maybe it's a bad example. There is this kind of embedded culture in development because I think it comes from a sort of scrappy startup mentality where you are doing stuff in your free time. And, you know, I learned basically everything I know about development by myself. You know, yeah, I went to college for computer engineering, but that was mostly hardware. I don't use that day to day in my profession. You know, everything I know about software development, I picked up over, you know, summer break and doing odd projects here and there, and then suddenly it's my job, right? So, and I think it's hard, and you know, you picked up they're doing you know, PHP, right? WordPress apps for band sites, right? Like that's how you got started. Yeah.
Yep.
So like there's it's hard to transition from that, you know, again talking about the side hustle gig to, hey, this is my professional thing and these are the boundaries.
Yeah.
Not to say you can't enjoy it. We do it because we enjoy it. You know?
Right. So I think the boundaries is a good word to use here. I think also maybe another way to put this is that I'm probably in a healthier situation than I was in before, and that gives me the ability to have that idea or think this way, because exactly like you said, I came up through you know, playing music. It didn't have any money, so I learned to program to get money. And with music, if you weren't on the road, you weren't making any money. So it's kind of like you get used to over years and years of just grinding. And then so moving into software development, jumping into Octopus and going from building WordPress themes to, oh, you're working on an app and you're writing CoffeeScript now. And me being like, what? You know, so it's like playing catch up, and then you get assigned a full stack app and you're like, it's playing catch up. So I feel like a lot of my career has felt like playing catch up. And so, you know, part of that, like grinding so hard outside of work is, you know, wanting to learn. Like it was productive for me, but also I think part of it was born out of insecurity too, imposter syndrome, all that stuff, right? So yeah, so I think, you know, coming along now, like I've gone through that period where I was talking about before, like, you know, anything I was doing on the side for fun or for, you know, helping somebody out. Like if someone has an idea or Jamie has a frustration, I can automate it for just using TypeScript because I wanted to immerse myself in that because that's what I'm doing day to day. So I'm at a place now where I feel pretty comfortable with it. I'm not having to look stuff up all the time. I'm feeling relatively productive. I don't feel as productive as I did with DK and Elixir, for example. But I'm feeling pretty comfortable. And so I think with that comes the, okay, you're now not as focused on like looking stuff up all the time. So now you're starting to notice like things that maybe are a little annoying to you, or things that you don't necessarily like, or things that are a little bit frustrating. And I think that's kind of like one place, or like, you know, where I'm at with TypeScript and the Node ecosystem. So like my opinion, I think like what we were talking about earlier, like my opinion is they're fine. Like you can be productive with that stuff. You can, like many people have built startups with that stuff, built companies, successful companies with that stuff. That's totally okay. And I can be comfortable writing it, but it just, there's still some level of disconnect for whatever reason. It still doesn't feel like I'm having a hard time like putting into words.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Well, it doesn't feel ideal, maybe. you know? I don't know if that's because of like a lot of my API learnings or like building services and learnings came through DK, and I really liked Elixir for that. That felt natural. Maybe that's the word I'm thinking of. It doesn't feel natural, and that could just be a product of, you know, learning in a very different paradigm, a different language, and then moving over to something else. Of course, it's not going to feel natural for a long time. But
it wasn't God's intention for JavaScript to run on the server, Sean.
Yeah,
It wasn't in his plan.
It's just, you know, I appreciate a lot of stuff about it, like the fact that you can build anything with JavaScript. You know, web apps, mobile apps, quote unquote native apps, right? Embedded services, whatever you want, you can build with it. But yeah, I don't know if now that I'm feeling comfortable and I kind of achieved that goal of like being able to feel really productive, and like I can actually, like, if they need me to do something, I could probably figure it out quickly enough to where it's not a hindrance to the company, you know? So now I'm starting to find myself looking around a little bit more and evaluating stuff and thinking like what's actually interesting to me. And I think the main difference there is I felt kind of compelled in a way to immerse myself in Node out of utility. Actually, I was talking to Matt earlier. Shout out to Matt in the chat. I was talking to Matt earlier. Let me look up what he said to me because he kind of like said it pretty well. He said, "Yeah, I think enjoyment is way more important, and it is a way more important factor in what to program with than utility. And it seemed like your draw towards Node was based out of utility." It's like, yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I ran into this when I was working on rewriting Waveguide, my iOS app, and I was drawn towards Ionic because, like, oh, great, I can write my app cross-platform for Android and iOS, and use Vue.js, which I know, but I had all these hangups about the tooling, and I really didn't want to just, you know, use that tech stack. Like, it just seemed very fragile, and I didn't want to write JavaScript if I don't have to, yada yada. Mm-hmm. And so, you know what I did? I just ended up just starting a new Xcode project, just doing it in Swift, you know, and like I was way happier doing that. Again, I did it out of enjoyment for me, not because you know, I wanted to succeed in some arbitrary business goal that I set out for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were probably more productive and probably would release any sort of, you'd probably reach any sort of arbitrary business goal out of being productive because you were having fun doing it or enjoyed what you were doing.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't ship the thing because I'm so bogged down in learning some new tech that I don't want to learn, that's a non-starter.
Yeah. So I feel I'm pretty privileged to be in a position to have that feeling of, oh, I have support at work where I can learn this stuff. You know, we have L&D time every week that we take. I started just scheduling it, putting it on my calendar, blocking out 2.5 hours every Thursday. That's where I like dig in and try to improve. But I do that on work time, you know, so it's not like I have to do it outside of work time. And the other,
you're proficient at it now, so that you know, you're quick at it. You know, you can learn things and pick things up quickly because you have the context and it's all built up in your mind. So it's not like you're spending days learning some new technology. You just, oh, I know where to look for this and how it works and how it fits into whatever I'm trying to do. So even if you are doing it on, you know, quote unquote company time, it's that's not a big ask.
Right. And on top of that, the engineering department has been doing this thing where the principal engineers will sort of outline these places that we as a company or, you know, the engineering department want to go or need to go based off of, you know, potential customers or clients or things that clients have asked us for recently. So I can hop into the L&D Notion and look at a table and see, okay, what's new here? What hasn't been researched? So there's basically a table of like what needs to be researched, who's kind of like researching this. So that way, if I research it, then later on they can go, oh, Sean knows about this. Let me go ask him, whether it's sales or whoever else. And so that's actually been really fun because it's totally removed from just writing code, but it's still research and writing and critical thinking and stuff. So for part of my L&D today, I wrote down everything I knew about Elasticsearch and search engines.
Okay, yeah, right. It's not something you're even using right now, is it? Or are you using Elasticsearch in your project right now, or is this just you're just writing it down just because?
One second.
Please stand by. Oh no! What happened?
The audio just keeps cutting in and out. I think it's something to
Oh.
do with the WebRTC stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It'll like cut out and come back in every now and then.
Oh, okay.
But sorry, what was the last thing you just said? I was saying that I wrote down
Oh, I was
everything I knew
asking
about
about-
Elasticsearch.
Yeah, and I was asking, is that because you just know a lot about Elasticsearch and wanted to write it down, or are you actually using it in your product right now?
It's something that we have to do occasionally, and I volunteered to start the research on that because I've used it several times in production. And it wasn't just about Elasticsearch; it was more so like search engines or search as a service in general. So like I made sure to know like Algolia. There's also Solar or Sphinx. There's also Miley Search, which is one of the newer ones built in Rust, if I'm remembering correctly. So kind of outlining like what are the different techs available? What are the different services that we might be able to use? And then I also kind of broke down what the major moving pieces are. So like what is an index? What is a shard? What are documents and fields and mappings? Things like that. So it's kind of just like a really quick primer or overview to be able to kind of point someone in direction. If they don't know anything about it, from looking at that one Notion document, they can have a pretty good overview of the moving pieces and can get to the big players in that space.
That's cool. I will say one of the things I've noticed at starting working on a team with man. I will say one of the things I've noticed is problematic when you're working on a large team of people is knowing who to talk to about something. Who's the source of truth for whatever thing, or who knows the most about thing, who owns this, and it's you waste a lot of time just talking about it and figuring it out. Whereas if there was just a doc, it's just like, hey, you have a question about X, ask person Y.
Yeah.
That that's just a huge time save, and you sort of build up this repository of knowledge for your team that can easily be cross-referenced. I really like that idea.
Yeah, so I know that probably next week for my L&D, I'll start looking into. I'll probably try to finish up this doc a little bit more, but I'll also probably start looking into recommendation engines and machine learning. So there's another engineer in our team that's already sort of like started to look into this stuff and document it. But my boss asked me if I would also kind of help them learn about this stuff, and I have like no, not I don't know the first thing about machine learning. But it's part of. I'm not like a principal engineer with MetaLab, but it's part of like senior level roles is to like pitch into this stuff and kind of like help learn and document and steer that in that direction. So it's a nice change of pace, and that's one thing that's been different about this week, or one thing that I wanted to focus on was I wanted to zoom out of my day-to-day work a little bit and try to get more involved in some of the department initiatives, like the L&D, like the directed L&D rather. And I felt pretty successful in doing that. And it was a tough week for other reasons, but those things were pretty rewarding.
I feel like you could. I feel like talking to you is like reading one of those 37 Signals, online books about managing your company or something. You've got those great little nuggets of kind of experience and like lots of small little tricks that add up to making just a better experience for everyone. And if you just take that extra step and give everything like a really catchy name, like a Spike or a Sprint,
Right.
or backlog, or whatever the word is, you get this knowledge base of things. You could call it I don't know, encyclopedia, right? Like whatever. Use some BS now and like call it a thing, and suddenly you've got a self-help book for mid-level managers on your hands.
Well, yeah,
That's where the real money is.
Sure.
I'm only like half joking about this because it's so cool to hear about all these processes and to now be a part of a software development company and an ostensibly experienced, well-regarded, really smart people working at Dockyard, and hearing about all this cool stuff that you've got like going for the people who are working for you. makes me really wish that there was some kind of structure like that, something I could point to, be like, hey, this is the thing that we could be doing to make our lives easier.
I mean, maybe I should start a blog
about it.
No, I don't know. One of the people I coach has been encouraging me to do that because we're kind of accountability partners in that, working on a few things together. Like I told them some of my long-term goals, and they told me some of their long-term goals, and we have recurring calls where we just check each other on that. And this person
just pop that alone, like that concept alone of just, I mean, you're the master of this, just reaching out to someone and just being like, hey, virtual cup of coffee, let's go.
Well, I'm their coach technically, so we're like
okay,
required
they're
by.
Obligated.
But
still, the concept of just the recurring, touch points. That's another thing I've learned. Touch points.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I hear dogs.
Yeah. Let me text Jamie real quick.
Have Stanley have them quiet down. Quiet down.
The two little dogs here are the ones that yap at. A leaf could like graze the asphalt upstairs, and this dog will be like, someone's here. Yeah. I think like a lot of this stuff has just been encouraged. Again, like that was one of the reasons why I went to MetaLab, was for these things that people that I look up to and respect sort of mentioned. So I'm happy that I've been sort of like pushed into these things that have been helpful for me and other people. So it's been a good experience. But these things, like having the accountability check-ins, having that stuff has been really helpful. What were we talking about just before?
I interrupted you because you were talking about the God, you can't rewind the stream.
It's all good.
You're talking about checking in. I was talking about processes and giving things names, and you were like checking in with your person, with your accountability and blogging.
Yeah.
Checking in every week. Yeah.
Because they were doing a work journal, which I thought was a cool idea, and they were like, "You should blog." It's like, I got a podcast, but I don't know. I think it could be useful to write more about this stuff, because I think with the podcast and streaming, it's more sort of a stream of consciousness, and it's not necessarily a reflection or a sort of metered reflection. I think with writing, you can kind of pause and go back and read and think, and pause and go back and read and think, and we can't really do that here.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. No one listens to podcasts, but people will read blog posts all day. So this is definitely a good medium to, I think it was media or medium. This is definitely a good medium to formulate your ideas and sort of have a blog post be the complementary thing, either before or after. Some people write a blog post and then they podcast about it, which actually I don't think that's a bad plan either. That's like making a PowerPoint and then presenting at a conference. Like, you're not reading the slides, you're talking about the slides, right? So
for sure, yeah.
You should be, at least.
That's a good point.
But yeah, but podcasting, no one's going to go through and scrub through a podcast to get your thoughts, but I think having them written down and sort of crystallized, I think that is valuable. It's just way harder. Like, you got to edit, you got to write, you got to like read it, hosting it and stuff, whatever, who cares? But you can't second guess yourself when you're live on Twitch.
Right. So I mean, we were talking about the directed L&D projects that we're doing, and one thing that's kind of exciting is I've mainly just made web apps my whole career, and this is sort of an example of something that's not web app. So like, if I'm doing research for this recommendation engine, right? So let's say that you're a furniture website, and we want to build a recommendation engine that, based off of different heuristics, can recommend you things that you might like. And so I might say get to build proof of concepts for different techniques or different types, just for the fact of learning about it and having an expertise in how something is constructed. It may very well be that for a client, we just say, go buy this service, you know. But I think it's still important to have that intimate like working knowledge of how it works, and doing this directed at L&D gives me like a target, like a deliverable that I can hit that's not just a web app. It's different, right? Which is something I've been wanting to do. So to me, that's kind of enticing or exciting a little bit, motivating maybe to think about. So there was that benefit that I hadn't really thought about, because the whole time I was thinking of L&D like, okay, well, I want to learn more about testing and React. So do I like just read a testing book and write some code? But there's not, you kind of need more direction there. That's something that I've observed anyway across some of our teams is having L&D time is great, but what do I do with it? I don't know what to do with it. So, you know, I've had some chats with people or people that I work with of saying like, all right, well, I've built some stuff before. Let me just make a Notion doc with some sample projects that you could kick around, you know, just kind of feeding them ideas, I suppose. But this is them feeding me ideas, which is awesome.
I also find that specifically interview questions are also a good source for sort of like stepping outside your comfort zone and trying to learn a new thing. Thomas was talking about how he had an interview, and the challenge was to implement an in-memory Redis clone with transactions and rollback, right? And like, yeah, so you start looking at that. First of all, that's a ridiculous interview. Like that's challenging, right? But I started thinking about it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how would I do that? You know, I just immediately the gears start turning, and I kind of wanted to just like dive into just implement a proof of concept in Ruby or, you know, something I'm comfortable with, just to see if I understand the problem set and how it's not going to be anything you're going to use in production, but, you know, what are the challenges? What are the edge cases? You know, what are the data structures you need to do that? And I might actually honestly still do it because I'm kind of, it's a fun challenge, I think.
Yeah, it's really awesome to me that the challenge is what gets you. So I'm a competitive person, and that's why I like games like Warzone, because I'm like, I'm just going to be better, and I'll never be better. So it's like always a constant. Same thing with jiu-jitsu, right? You'll never master it. So it's always a struggle to kind of keep learning. Same thing with guitar. I lost that feeling about programming a long time ago, I feel like, because programming wasn't born out of curiosity. It was born out of, I need to check. My student loans are going to default, and I can't have the bank coming after me. So someone give me a WordPress site to make, you know. It wasn't really, I mean, maybe when I was younger, like a lot younger, using RPG Maker or something like that, it was a more creative pursuit. But a lot of my programming career has been purely about money, and I don't think that's bad. I'm sure a lot of people treat it like that, and that's totally okay. But I'm really interested in how I can sort of get that feeling of that challenge. Like, can I build this thing and be motivated by that instead of demotivated by it?
In college, we had programming competitions. And so the way this would work was, I only did this once, but the way it worked was like this was like the qualification round. So there's some like statewide programming competition, and so this was our college deciding who would get to go to the next level, right? And so they had just anyone, you could show up to the computer lab at 8:00 on a Wednesday or something, and they give you 5 problems, and then basically they would give you the example of the problem, how to solve it, and it's usually some complex like word problem. And they would give you a sample input and output. And basically, the way it'd work was you could write it in, one of whatever languages that you're comfortable with. You submit it to a server, and it runs it against some standard in and standard out, and like checks to make sure that your program does the right thing.
Mm.
And so that first time we did it, I was in there with a bunch of CS majors and whatever, and there were 5 problems, and we sat down and we were there for hours, probably 2-3 hours. Not a single person in that room solved a single one of the problems. So we're like, okay, everyone go home, come back again and try this later. So we come back a week or 2 later, 5 new problems, same thing, sit down and start doing the thing. By the end of the session, I had solved one of the 5 problems and no one else had solved any of them. what a disaster. And that was enough to qualify me to, I won a netbook. Remember netbooks? I got one of those. And then I got to go to some, state team where we got crushed by MIT's B team, right?
Right.
I mean, it was a disaster. But I went with some grad student. But like that stuff where you're like, literally the problem was, one of them was like solving Rubik's cubes using, algorithms, right? Crazy stuff. So much fun. That and code golfing and, man, really, really works your brain well. So I would just honestly encourage you to look into stuff like that. If they're just kind of fun time wasters. There's tons of online, things. There's one in particular, I can't think of the name, but there's lots of different ones out there where that have the same model where they give you a problem, input and output, and you just submit your code and it just runs it, right? So
there's like Code Wars out there. I know that's the one.
Yeah, that's one. Yep.
That one's been around for a while. I mean, there's others that are training for jobs like Algo Expert and things like that. They have that really annoying YouTube ad. Like what is it? What's scarier than inverting a binary tree or something? I don't know. Yeah. So I've tried those things. I think I haven't really ever spent time on like the algorithmic side of programming stuff or solving word problems, I think. And yeah, it's interesting to me, but I haven't really kind of pushed past the first initial frustration of things, and I probably should just do that. I mean, I'm willing to do that with other things, like jiu-jitsu, just get stomped into the ground for 2 years. But, so maybe that's just something I need to explore a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. Might be a good outlet for that.
I know that Cassidoo, if you know who Cassidoo is, she has a weekly newsletter. Cassidoo is awesome if you don't know who she is. I'll put a link in the show note. She has a weekly newsletter where it comes out and it has a coding challenge for you to solve, and you can email her back with your answer. That also has a joke, which I think most people just skip to the joke because their jokes are funny. But yeah, Cassidoo is great.
Cool. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to relive that moment of glory.
That's right.
So, yeah. I finally got rid of that netbook. Just took it to the dump. Like, what are you going to use a Windows XP Celeron, 1.2 gigahertz processor computer for with that terrible battery life? Basically nothing.
An Arduino? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Arduino is infinitely more powerful than that thing.
Yeah.
Frustratingly slow. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got into, or I keep saying that I got into programming for money, and really it kind of transformed into I enjoy solving problems that people have. And I think that's why I enjoyed working with DK for so long, is because they were, firsthand issues that Lindsay had, her businesses had those issues. And so it's like the technology became more of a means to an end through that. And that's, it's, that part of it's motivating to me. So I think that it would be cool to transform it and make it more personal to me by, like you said, sort of these competitions or challenges or looking for the fun in it, I suppose. So I don't know. I think I was thinking about that stuff a lot this week, and I think it's cool because it feels like growth for me. It feels like something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I made that transition. I'm working with people now. I'm working on teams now. I'm working on stuff that, or I'm working on projects where like I have time to do learning on the side to supplement that stuff that doesn't have to come out of my own time. So now I think it's sort of time to think about what does fun look like for this stuff. If I do want to keep programming as a hobby, and I do because I enjoy critical thinking and problem solving and stuff, what does making that feel fun again look like?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, what brought you to it? I mean, was there something that brought you to programming originally that wasn't just money? Was there some sort of
before music? Yeah, it was making games, and I mean, it was more so like the friends that I had, because we as a group were into that. So it became, going from video games to making video games with my friends, and that was fun because it was a creative thing to do that wasn't just playing video games. And then it kind of disappeared for a long time, and then came back when, after design school, after I dropped out of school and all that stuff.
So what I'm hearing is you just volunteered yourself for the next Ludum Dare with Paul, Thomas, and myself.
Maybe.
Peer pressure, Sean. Peer pressure.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting to a point where I'm more comfortable with not knowing stuff. I kind of I don't like to feel like I don't know something. So when I think about Ludum Dare, I think about how much stuff do I have to learn about making video games, Whereas Thomas just jumped into it and did whatever. I can do this. I can do this, coach, I want to be more like that, where it's less of a deterrent to not necessarily know how to do something and more of a motivator, right? Kind of shifting that perspective for myself.
Don't think about how much you don't know. Just think about how much you'll learn.
Yeah. That's not my first inclination.
I get it. That's perfectly natural. I think that's, we all fall victim to being comfortable with things that we're good at. That's whether it's in programming or, anything else. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Sure. So I don't know. I don't know really. I have a couple of web app projects I'm working on. An old buddy of mine from Octopus actually, is hacking on me with one because he was sort of looking for an outlet as well. He seems kind of bored at his job, so I'm happy to have something that pushes him, which is great. And aside from that, I don't know. Nick Q, Kid Queb drops into my DMs all the time. He's like, "Look at this thing." I'm like, no, don't do this.
Well, yeah. So I also want to bring up the point that it's okay to say no. I'm getting better at not doing things. If something is not really aligned with what I'm interested in at the moment, or I just don't feel like I have time for. Listen, not having time for something is a lie. You can always make time for something. It's just, are you motivated to make time for a thing, or would you rather just do something else, right?
Mm.
So if I say to you, sorry, I don't have time to do that, it really means I don't want to do it because I'd rather do something else, right? It's not like you don't have time. You can always make time. How many hours do I spend sitting on the couch scrolling Reddit? That could be programming. Probably, my phone literally tells me every week how much time I've wasted looking at the phone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend all that time programming, but if I am going to, I want to spend it doing something that I enjoy and saying, I've had people come to me over the past couple months and come up to me with projects. Hey, can you work on this? Are you interested in partnering on this thing? Could have all these big returns and whatever. And I'm just not interested. I just don't care. It's just, this is not a point in my life where I'm just gonna, throw everything in the air and spend all this extra time trying to do something from scratch that I'm not completely 100% invested in emotionally.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt in the chat said this thing, and I want to highlight it. He said, something that I would really like to copy is that I saw someone on Twitter get retweeted by a bunch of people because they said they wanted to learn a language and was looking to pair with someone. That's how I learn the best. That's how I learn the best, but the things I want to learn, I don't know anyone that does it. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I feel like I've seen people do that on Twitter as well. And I think that's initially what drew me to trying to do programming streams as well. It's kind of like the co-working thing. Not necessarily look what I can do, but I don't know what I'm doing. Can someone help kind of stuff? Or can someone share experience? And that's what I enjoyed. Like when I was working at Sidedoor, I was doing some Laravel streams to learn Laravel. And Laravel people would see the name and they would jump in and they would help. They would answer questions or guide me in the right direction. That was really cool. So maybe that's something I can do, is just picking up like a code stream a week or something, just as long as it's fun, as long as I don't feel like I have to produce something out of it, right? But as long as it's like interacting with people, maybe. And I think that's kind of how it started for me, right? Was interacting with my friends. They wanted to make video games, so I wanted to make video games. So maybe that's the key to, changing my perspective on some of this stuff, is the people interaction stuff. And shout out to Matt. Like I DM'd him about Crystal and I was like, this looks really cool. And immediately he was like, hey, you want to pair program something? It's like, yeah,
Awesome.
that sounds great.
Excuse me. I have such a hard time seeing someone need help and not helping them. Oh, listen, that's how we first met, right?
That's how we met, yeah.
You were in the Elixir Discord. You were having something with Ecto.
I was mouthing off about something in there and you pulled me aside and were like, listen.
No, come on. You asked me out, Sean. I didn't ask you out. I don't want to hear this.
Actually we can't, right? They don't
we
pay
can't
for
scroll back.
There's
We
no
can't
history.
Scroll back past 15 days of Slack history on that.
I haven't been in that Slack in a long time.
I had someone spam DM me today whose username was let me see if I can find it. It was something. It was like called Binary Forex Trader, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not responding to you. This is obviously some spam.
I get invited to Discord sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Discord is. Yeah, people will reach out to you with no
Like
context.
programming Discords. I'm like, what? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. That's sort of been this week is it's coming to that realization, I think. So positive movement, I think.
I think so. I think it's just a sign of us getting older. I won't say more mature, I'll just say older.
Yeah. So next comes the hardest decision a programmer ever has to make is how should I actually write my blog?
What, Jekyll's not cool anymore?
There's so many options, Rockwell. I mean, you have
write your own.
You have the Dashbit way of the Elixir, like the cache posts and stuff. I can't remember exactly how it works.
You could do GridSum. You could do Google
GridSum.
Pages. I mean, Google Pages, you can stack whatever you want. You could do Nux, static, true static rendered pages.
Could do Remix.
You could use Chisel, my Ruby gem, version 0.0.1.
I'll just open some issues. Give me contributor access, and I'll enable Dependabot and just walk away.
You could use Rux and use Ruby View components to write HTML
that's right.
directly in Ruby.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to this because we were talking a couple weeks ago. I was lamenting about React RB and what a monstrosity that was to render Ruby or to render React components with pure Ruby. And here, Sean sends me this link to this Ruby library called Rux. It just came out, it seems like a few days ago. And basically, this gives you the equivalent of JSX in Ruby. So you can write these Vue components using this Vue components Ruby library that I apparently came out of GitHub. I've never seen this before, but it looks awesome. Like, I kind of wish I'd known about this earlier. But he takes this Vue components thing and then slaps HTML right onto it. So but what's kind of hacky about it is obviously you're writing HTML markup in a .rb file. That's not going to compile, or that's not going to run. So you have to run it through this like transpiling thing. Basically like whatever Webpack does, but you do it for Ruby. You transpile this Ruby into actual Ruby. This is something else, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, do you really need to have your HTML in line there? Can't you just use a template file and pull it in? Maybe I'm too spoiled by the way, Phoenix renders things, but
all roads lead to this, Rockwell. All roads lead to JSX.
All roads lead to markup in the middle of my source file.
That's your title. All roads lead to JSX. Yeah, I didn't really look too much into this. I just looked at the first couple of examples and was like, interesting. So I popped into the link and walked away. The link channel and walked away.
You just drop the grenade and
Yeah.
walk away as it explodes behind you. No, I just thought this was funny in light of our conversation the other week. That's great.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff that I've been looking at recently. Like Matt and Nick were showing me Crystal, which is a lot like Ruby, but it's got some strongly typed things. It's supposedly really fast, like C fast. I don't know how, but supposedly. it has method overloading, which is really cool. So kind of like Elixir, right? So you have a method with a name, and then you type in like this version of it takes a string and then has this body, and then you make another method. This one takes a number and has this body. Like, I really kind of miss some of that stuff from Elixir.
I gotta say, I was looking at Ember because a lot of people at Dockyard are Ember developers, and I'm looking through the docs. I'm like, this just looks like a different flavor of Vue. Like, this looks comfortable and familiar to me. I could totally, get behind this. I mean, maybe Ember's dying and no one's using it, but like this is totally a thing that I don't have any real problem with. And I was
Right.
kind of surprised by that. I think I was expecting in my head more of a, Angular big framework feel to it, but no, it just feels like just plain old, JS Vue components with markup. Fine, it's fine.
Yeah. So earlier we were talking, I don't remember if this was actually in the recording or not, but we were talking about a couple of different options that I was talking with my client's lead dev with. And I'll just like rephrase it, I suppose, because I don't know if it's in the recording, but basically we have two apps. Each app has exactly the same account settings, but it's not just an account setting, right? It's like the whole thing. It's like two-factor authentication flow, notification settings, a full-fledged account settings setup. And so I was talking about, maybe we shouldn't just copy and paste the code across them. That'd be terrible. And what are the options in that case, right? Option one would be some sort of mono repo where things kind of bundled together. Option two would just be have your own standalone account app. That seems fair. Option three is like something like Webpack Module Federation.
Well, hold on. You skipped Git submodules.
I skipped that. So that's option three. Option four is Webpack Module Federation.
I wouldn't ever do Git submodules if you held a gun to my head,
Phew.
but it's a thing that people do.
Yeah. So I think you were asking me what the Module Federation was, right, Rockwell?
Is this gonna like run the galaxy in the next century?
Well, it's just remote modules. So with Webpack, you can actually say this module exists elsewhere, and it'll pull it in when it needs to. So it's kind of like lazy loading your component, except for this component comes from another URL. In a very big nutshell.
But this is all done in the browser at compile time?
I believe at compile time.
What is the federated part?
That's the federate. Like you're separating the modules out.
I don't really know what federated means in the context of software development. I'm going to be completely honest.
Just the sources are coming from different places. So planet A, planet B. Like if you might hear like GraphQL Federation, federated schemas. It just means that the schema, like the actual schema definition that you have access to, is split up into chunks and built, like put together from separate, disparate sources.
Huh. Okay.
So same thing with Webpack Module Federation. You basically would just like develop all the account stuff once because it's all just React code, and you pull it into two separate React apps. So that's another approach. But
so it's kind of like making. Would you say it's equivalent to sort of hosting your own private npm repo? Is that sort of the same thing? I know it's implemented differently, but
maybe it's a little bit different than that. But I'll put a link to the show notes instead, or in the show notes in the chat as well. But
do you have to secure that? Because if it's just a URL, like you got to have some kind of authentication mechanism, especially for this, project.
Yeah, I haven't dug that deep into it. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but this is something that exists. We're getting into micro front end territory where you essentially have little mini apps that are developed in isolation, and they're all run under the same URL. They're just like separate front end apps.
Get some modules aren't sounding so bad at this point.
Right. So, yeah.
I honestly, though, I still like the idea of if this is really a complex enough user settings screen to be its own thing, and there's two apps, that sounds to me like OAuth. That sounds to me like there's a hosted authentication app that you log into and manage your stuff. Account.whatever.com. That's your thing. And then it's its own basically OAuth server. That's also a settings thing you can log into, and then your other apps authenticate against it with JWTs, and away you go. Like That's a complicated solution, but maybe the most flexible.
Yeah, I think that's a totally valid use case for it, is to have it be its own application, because it's probably going to grow and change and all that. And so if you're doing module federation, if it's done at build time, you update the auth app and then it has to kick off, builds. If it's not done, if it's done at runtime, again, there's a whole nother problems that needs to be solved. But
how do you even version that? You've got this module that's in between, and you need to bump some version numbers on your individual releases for the other two apps.
So I brought this up. You're bringing me back full circle here. So I brought this up because I was hanging out in some Twitter spaces last night. That'll probably also trigger you. But there was, I forget who was hosting it, but we were talking about React 18 with like the new announcements that they had just talked about. And it kind of turned into a, who's got questions about front end or who wants to talk about what. And it's funny because all these conversations would start going to this incredibly complicated stuff like module federation, SSG, SSR, Webpack 18 having basically React to string renderer. So that way you can, like server-side rendering or server components are built into React at that point. So it's like, is it more than just a library now? We started going down all these roads. And then someone came in and they started talking about something. They're like, well, actually, all the things that I'm talking about here, these are all enterprise level things, and most people probably don't have these problems, so we can just move on to a separate subject. And I was like, oh, they're right. She's right. Yeah, so that's kind of what helped me get to that realization. I was like, oh yeah, like the stuff that I'm playing with and toying with and trying to learn, like lean into, like these are all born out of these giant applications that anything that I want to do for fun doesn't have any of those problems. So why am I inheriting all of the baggage that comes with it? That was the start of the thread, that I started pulling on. So, yeah.
You ain't going to need it.
Yagni.
Keeps coming up. More and more inclined to believe it.
And now I'm looking at the Federation stuff, and
all I can think of is Star Trek, man. Whenever you say that, it's just all I can think of is just a bunch of people on the bridge of the Enterprise, just sitting at their terminals writing React.
oh my! So you can actually do remote federation, so it doesn't always happen at build time. You can actually like have runtime go and get this mini app and load it.
There's definitely no concerns there with
That's like refueling a flight in air.
Basically. You're delegating, right? At that point, I mean,
the door opens and you're on the stairs of the 747, and another plane flies up and the door opens and you just like walk into that plane.
Well, no, what's happening is you're flying and there's a plane next to you that's refueling you, except it's not the plane that's refueling you. It's like a helicopter, and there's a fuel truck hanging underneath it, and there's a guy hanging off the fuel truck, plugged into your plane, trying to fuel it up. That's what this is.
I just want to make a blog, man.
Have you tried a text editor and HTML files? I promise you, it'll work on every browser. It'll work on every platform. Just write some files. Oh, your navigation changes? Guess what? Just copy and paste it on a couple of your other pages. It'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll do something. But yeah, so I think your idea of writing as a source of fuel for podcast and streaming is a good idea. So
I feel like that could go. Yeah, I feel like it could go either way. Write the blog.
It could go real bad.
No. Like write the blog, and then talk about it and explain your reasoning, or vice versa. Get your thoughts together and then blog about it.
Yeah.
No one could take your blog away from you.
We'll tune in next week to see if he does it.
He's not going to do it.
What's my track record?
For like 2 years, man.
Yeah. Well, I have to be a good coach. I have to do what I said I would do, right?
You're not beholden to me. I don't give a crap what you do.
I'm beholden to other people because they're beholden to me.
If I pay you, will you blog?
Maybe. Oh, here we go. We need a Sean Washbot token.
What does that mean?
That means that my blog will be on the blockchain.
Your first post will be the non-fungible whatever.
Yeah, and then I won't ever get to the
NFT.
second post because the app becomes too expensive to run. Where's Merlin's bell? Ding, right? That's it.
So yeah, something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's I'm glad you brought that stuff up because I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it, but I'm glad I did.
I'm glad we had this little intervention.
Right.
Sorry I put you on the spot, but
It's
I know
all
you've
right.
been thinking about it, so and also I didn't have anything to talk about. Win-win.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, if anybody out there wants to pair program or has a challenge, I suppose, a code challenge or whatever, just want to talk about this idea. Think I'm wrong? Think I'm right? We want to hear about it.
Please convince him to stop writing TypeScript in his free time. You're better than this, Sean.
I don't know if you can. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, tune in next week.
You can tweet at us on Twitter. What's Twitter Spaces? Is that a thing? Is that like a capital S Spaces? What is
Yeah,
it?
it's like Twitter's Clubhouse basically. Just audio only chats. You have speakers or presenters basically, and then people can like raise their hand and you just have discussions about a topic.
Got it. Well, we're not doing that, but you can send us old-fashioned 250 character tweets at DNCcast. Sean is Sean Washbot. Maybe you can find him in a space. Just look for something about TypeScript. He's probably in there. And I'm Shrockwell.
Let me look right now actually. See what's going on in
God.
Spaceland.
You share your screen if you do, we got to get some audio stream going here.
Oh, Ken Beck is in a space right now.
Who's
Let me
that?
get my notepad. What is next? Show notes. So we talked about some things. If you're interested in Module Federation, or if you want to look at Rux, or I definitely recommend you check out Cassidy's TikTok or Twitter. She's got a lot of helpful information for programmers and career advice, but also she's got a lot of puns and jokes. So check that out. If you want to find those links, head on over to dnc.show. They'll be there waiting for you.
Or you can come on and watch the show live on Thursdays, twitch.tv/DNCcast, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern on Thursdays. We're here, and you could be here too. Come on by.
And if you can't make it on Thursdays, or you don't want to come on by, you should check out our Discord community. We have,
Way to undermine me.
Yeah. we have a group of people that are just a good group of people. Everyone's super welcoming and friendly, and everyone just wants to help each other learn. So we have channels for programming, we have channels for gardening, we have channels for hardware stuff. I muted that one, to be honest, Rockwell. We have channels about 3D printing rather, music, book clubs. There's a lot going on there. So if you're interested in that, and you need if you want to find a community to plug into, again, you can go to dnc.show to get an invite there, or there also will be an invite in the show notes of whatever podcast player you're using. Podcast player is the term, right?
Podcast player? It seems so antiquated. Your podcast turntable?
Do you remember Real Player?
I try to forget. I drink to forget Real Player. Here's our URL for a .rm file. God, what compressed garbage that was. I had to mute the fitness channel because I just like sitting on the couch and eating Cheetos off my chest. So, to each their own.
Yeah, I had to stop competing with people because I'd never win.
On the Apple Watch.
Right. So I cheated when I beat Thomas because I was moving out of a third floor apartment. So
Oh, come on. Sandbagging it, man.
yeah, I hit like 1,800 calories in one afternoon. The brutal.
The truth comes out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, maybe we'll have a blog post by next week. Maybe not. Who knows?
I doubt it.
You'll find out in a week, Rocco.
All right. I can't wait.
All right.
Have
See ya.
a good weekend. See you. Going to those. I want to see these Twitter Spaces thing because I've not seen this at all.
Okay. I have to maybe use my other.
Are you able to like pipe the audio in somehow?
Yes. Yes, I could do that using Loopback. One
Yeah.
second here.
Yeah, take your time. Maybe we could do a. What are those two Muppets from the Muppets?
The two old guys,
Yeah. We
Marley
could
and
do one of those.
Marley.
No. Wallace and Gromit.
Oh,
I know.
the claymation. They're claymations.
No, I know. That's not it. They're called Statler and Waldorf. Statler and Waldorf. I think that's their names.
So I don't even know if you can do spaces on a desktop. I think it's just a phone thing.
Oh.
Yeah, here though. Twitter Spaces. Let me go ahead and share.
It's WebRTC. It should work everywhere, man.
Boo. I gotta zoom in now.
Spaces is here. Let's chat.
Stop looking at my tabs.
What do you got there? South by Southwest. Oh, that's SWW. React Forms. Remix.
Yeah, so-
Says remix. Sean, what are you doing with the remix? Get that out of here.
So yeah, you join the space. There's
Oh.
I don't see where and there's just people in it, so you can request to speak, and then you have like hosts and they talk, and you just kind of listen. It's nice. I do it sometimes because it's just people I've never met before. Just totally different perspectives.
Whatever
Sometimes it's
happened
nice.
to Clubhouse?
I don't know.
Is it still a thing?
I think so.
All right, let's go to the Google search trends. Google Trends. Clubhouse. Yeah, it's about right.
I've never actually used Google Trends myself.
Oh my god, it's so much fun to just like poke around with.
It's up, Shy Ryan.
Oh, you spelled it wrong.
That's the European
The
version.
German version. Yeah, so there you go. What was the peak? What was the peak? June,
February.
February this year? Yeah, that's about right. That's when ATP was talking about it, and then just kind of trails off to nothing.
Yeah, I think there was. I think I remember hearing reports of like they were maybe violating like privacy and
Oh,
importing contacts and stuff like that. It was pretty heavy handed. Like when you installed it, one of the first things they did was try to get all your contacts to see
yeah,
who you want to invite or connect with.
Really skeezy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Search does not compute.
I'm done recording now, so it's okay.
Look at
So-
that. Look at that trend. That's the upward knee of the curve, man. Apparently, all of Middle America doesn't give a crap about us.
Yeah.
Shout out North Carolina.
A
Also,
calculator.
This could just be, people Googling this.
Oh my.
Hello. Mint?
No, don't look. Don't
Sean.
look. No, don't look. Don't look.
What is that? I know I'm just going to keep making fun of you for trying new things. Now I just push you to try new things. I'm just going to make fun of all of them for being bad.
Is this really new though? Like, look.
No, I
Look.
mean, Crystal's 1.0 like a month ago. So yeah, that counts as new.
Where's
Crystal, I will say Crystal looks too much like Ruby.
Hey, is this new? This looks familiar, doesn't it?
This looks too much
You've
like
seen this
Ruby.
before, haven't you? You've seen this before, haven't you?
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna. Oh god, first of all, this thing is Material UI, which is already minus points in my book. Whatever
Hey.
this is.
Hey, this looks familiar, doesn't it? Oh, you can omit parens?
Oh man. So like Elixir?
Hey,
you can't really do that anymore.
this looks familiar, right? This is just Ruby. What are you talking about?
That's the problem. It's not though.
Yeah, it is. You can't convince me this isn't Ruby.
I mean, it's a bastardized, subset of Ruby
This is Ruby.
with types.
Oh, I like this though.
Oh yeah, you would like types in Ruby.
All right, Rockwell.
Where is Canada?
You drove me to this.
Oh, I wanted to mention this on the show actually. So it's too bad, but yeah, luckily they remedied that, Shy Ryan, for for most things.
You made me do this, Rockwell.
So we've been implementing this API client thing, and it's a npm package that we had to pull in, and the only way this API is so poorly documented, the only way we could figure out what the hell it was doing was by looking at the type spec, because the docs were out of date. There were no examples, there were no screenshots, there was nothing. All we had was this index.d.ts, and we just friggin' went back and forth, had that open, and that's the only way we could figure out how to make this API work.
There we go, Rockwell. You did this to me.
I did this?
Yeah.
You did this.
Now we're going, oh, I will not join you in learning Lisp, Matt. All right, we're TypeScripting.
Oh no, look at the time.
Lisp bracket. Oh. Jet fueled. I used Spacemacs for a little bit. I never really did get the hang of Lisp though, the Lisp syntax. Rockwell disappeared. This to me is hard. It's hard for me to parse this visually. It's the only functional style that you enjoy? It could be fun to explore it at some point. Ooh, I like how to design programs. I need to learn about this. Where does we scared Rockwell off? Matt, you use Lucky, right? Not Amber. Amber's the other one for Crystal, yeah. The ORM look kind of nice for Lucky database. Querying records. And I like the idea that they kind of bake in the operation, or they bake in the idea of operations. That was kind of cool too. That is also one thing that I really liked about Ecto is that everything's compiled, so you get compile time checks. It was pretty nice.
This looks like Ruby. Is this Crystal or Ruby?
Never know. It's so loud. This is Crystal, but it's the Lucky framework. I believe that... Matt, am I wrong in saying that Thoughtbot started Lucky?
Can we get Matt on? Can we just send him a code to the room and just get him in here?
We talked about it. Having him on at some point.
Oh. I mean, just like right now.
A guy from Thoughtbot. Okay, yeah.
I thought they were all robots. Are they actual people?
Callbacks. Oh no.
Why does this look so much like... Oh, no, callbacks.
No.
Boo, callbacks. Oh, a save operation? What are you doing? Oh, no. What is this operation?
Time to first pixel, Rockwell.
Yeah, we need time to first pixel by subclassing a... Oh, a command class run this after. I hate this.
They have
You ain't
like
gonna
a
need it, Sean.
first party concept for operations instead of like defining this stuff on the model. So you have operation classes.
So functions? You just described functions, Sean.
Well, methods.
So everything's functions.
He's gonna earn stream points to meet Rockwell. He's a devil on my shoulder.
You know, I'm just here to troll.
You know, Eric was talking very nicely about Haskell recently.
Haskell's cool. That's a thing that computer science nerds learn.
Yeah.
Purely functional, Sean. No side effects.
It's hard for me to parse this.
Look, filter primes. What are you saying about this? It's just you know, it's.
What
all
is
right,
happening?
All right, so look. So you've got filter prime. That's obviously a function, right? You can tell because everything's functions. 2 is the number of words in the function name. Filter prime is 2 words, so you got 2. Then you've got where. So this is a SQL query now.
Moving on. Yeah. So many things to try out.
What about what's that other Haskell like one? OCaml?
Oh, calm.
OCaml. Industrial strength. Forget about battle tested. We've got industrial strength, a new hyphenated adjective here.
We got a camel.
Oh, it's a literal camel. How clever. It's a functional imperative and object-oriented style, Sean. Right, however you want. Fold left, fold right.
This looks like a teddy bear missing an eye.
It looks like an accumulator, right?
Pharaoh, is that the camel's name?
enum dot accumulate. Reduce, I mean. Wow. Code
What is
Wars.
lean?
Oh my god. Lua, that's a good one for game development.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Code Wars, Rockwell?
The name's familiar. I've never done
You basically just do kata. Did I use GitHub? I think I did.
it. Oh,
Hey, get out of here. Don't look.
you're authorized. Oh, is this okay. Find the oddent.
What?
TypeScript. Of course it's
Oh.
TypeScript.
Oh, you can choose
a
whatever you want.
Choose a real language.
Are you saying it's not real because it compiles away or it like gets stripped out when it actually just builds the JavaScript?
Yeah, and JavaScript is barely a language. It's like, so, you know. Let's do it in Crystal. Do it in Crystal. Let's go.
Do they have Crystal?
Of course they do.
SQL. Here we go.
You can do it in SQL. Edit your languages.
They do have Crystal.
Yeah, all right, do it.
When issue reported. We can't do that one. Return negative. What's this? All right.
This is fine.
Here we go.
This is good.
Okay, so in the simple assignment, you're given a number and have to make it negative.
But maybe the number is already negative.
Notes. The number can be negative already, in which case no change is required. 0. That is 0. Doing Crystal. What's up? What's up, Ryan? It's not checked for any specific sign. Negative zeros make no mathematical sense.
That is not entirely true, but probably out of scope for this.
All right,
discussion.
where's the report button then?
when you're talking about I think when you're talking about limits, I think you can have the concept of like a negative 0. I could be talking out of my ass too. All right, def make negative. All right, write your code, Sean. Let's go. What are you waiting for? It's just Ruby, right? Just write Ruby. You know Ruby. Do you remember Ruby?
Return?
Yeah. return math.
You don't have to return anything though, right? It has implicit
return-
returns.
Or yeah, just do num.abs times -1. No, it's naive implementation, Sean. Did you even read the spec?
Wait, I don't have auto completion here. How am I supposed to know?
Doesn't matter. Ship it.
Test. What in the hackathon is going on here? Whoa, Rockwell. This is basically Ruby.
Ab stands for absolute value.
Yeah. What's up,
And
B-Bro?
because everything in Ruby is an object, numbers have an absolute value function called abs. Has nothing to do with six-pack abs.
There. That's a little bit easier to see.
I mean, it is basically Ruby. Did you accidentally pick Ruby? Is that what happened?
No, I picked Crystal. Attempt.
Wait, hold on. If you change the language to Ruby, will it we'll just keep the source in
105?
That's
My God.
seems unnecessary.
It seems excessive, yeah.
Well, that was the thing with these programming competitions, that they would give you one or two examples, but when they ran it against the, when you submitted your code, the server that you submitted it to would compile it or whatever and run it against some gigantic unknown data set. Now we can code golf it.
It's just Ruby. See? What?
What? This is great.
What do you mean? Oh, it won't let me open the console. It goes to output. MRI.
Doesn't matter.
All right, we're going back to Crystal.
All right, back to Crystal.
What's another? What should we pick up here?
I mean, Elixir would be a fun one because you can do pattern matching. But that's too easy. It's like cheating.
Do. All right.
I've been literally pair programming for like 8 hours a day for the past 8 weeks. This is
Where you submitted this one? How do we go to a next kata?
I don't know. You got in here, man.
We're here.
Beep bop dee.
All right. Next
Next kata. What is kata? Is that all right?
exercise. All right. So let's see here. Best practice. Negative number. That makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. I like ours better.
Dang.
It's just a little more clear what's going on. Boo, boo.
The turn area. So many ways. Next.
I was reviewing a PR for a function today that literally had the logic: if not is nil something, or not is nil something else, and my brain just broke trying to figure out
Double
what the hell's
knots.
going on. Yeah, double knots.
Yeah.
Just put it in the else clause. It's fine.
You know what broke my brain earlier is that how do I do this? The URL is gonna be too small to see. You know those JavaScript DIRs where it's like underscore underscore mocks underscore 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 test underscore underscore.
Okay.
I heard Kent Dodds refer to those as dunder. He was like dunder mocks dunder.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
a Python.
what?
That's a Python.
Is
thing.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's like Dunder Mifflin. What are you talking about? And then I looked. It's like, oh, there's a directory.
Short for double underscore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Train. Write a
Big
function
county.
that takes an integer as input and returns the number of bits that are equal to 1 in the binary representation of that number.
Trying to think of a really efficient way to do this. I mean, I know the easy way, but
Remember, it's just Ruby.
all right. N.2s parentheses 2 dot chars dot count open curly brace pipe give it a variable, call it thing equals string 1. God,
What?
such a terrible
What?
the number 1 in quotes.
Oh, string 1. Okay.
Such a terrible
What
implementation.
is? I don't understand this. I thought this was like piping in an argument. For
So
like a lambda.
dot count could take in a anonymous function.
Right.
It counts the number of things.
Oh, okay.
You have to do a thing. You have to add thing equals 1. In the
Yeah.
block there.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got it. This Siri implementation of text to speech is really good. Oh no!
Ooh, expected 1 got 0.
Yeah, this is bad. Chars count got 0.
I don't know how to do this, so I'm just sitting here.
Did any exceptions fail? Maybe dot count doesn't do what I think it does.
Expected 17 got 0, 8 got 0, got 0. So it looks like testing for 0, so that one passed.
Okay.
Anything but 0 didn't pass.
Thing equals 1. I think that's right.
So let's say 0.2string. What is this? 2 places?
That's
What
the
is
base. So base
base?
2 binary.
Okay. I see.
And then dot char is supposed to give you
The
an
length of
array.
it.
Oh, it gives you an array of like single string characters.
And then you get the count of those, and you pass it
so.
in and checking to see if it's equal to 1.
I don't know. It's not Ruby, so I don't know how this works.
This is Ruby. What are you talking about?
Hold on. Let me go to the array type. Well, these docs are already better than Ruby's docs, so I'll give him points for that.
Oh, we got him, Matt.
Wait, I don't see dot count. Dot count. Oh, inherited from enumerable. Yeah, no, the count thing should work.
Where did you find...
If you keep going down, it says it inherits from enumerable somewhere down there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa. Where'd... Oh, here we go. Okay. I see. All, any. This is basically Ruby, right?
Yeah, it is. There's count. And the one above it. Scroll up. Up one. There you go.
Ah, okay, I see. It takes the block. I don't know. Skip?
No, don't skip. Can we debug? Is there can I put string?
Yes. So where do you want me to debug?
Let's-
Chars are not
yeah,
strings.
after chars. Oh, it's integers. It's an array of integers. Is that what's happening? All right, so do all right, replace that with 2a, 2_a. I think that'll do.
To
array.
Yeah.
I think that'll give you an array of. No, of course. All right, go back. No, it was right. So go back to chars, but you have to do single quotes for around the 1 because, of course.
Oh, you're comparing it to.
Well,
yeah.
no, because Crystal must have the concept of a char versus a string.
Right. But you're comparing the char to a string.
Right, but Ruby doesn't have that concept, so it's not Ruby, is what I'm saying.
It's Ruby.
No, it's not. It's not. Ruby doesn't have a char type. Hooray! We did it. Thank you, Matt.
Good job.
Good job.
Now we're submitting. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what
This is a terrible
what?
pop count. Hold on. Pop count. That's gonna be like under int. Oh my god. Pop count counts the 1 bits in the binary representation of this integer.
Look at that.
What in the world? Wow. Who knew? I don't even know what that means. What? Hold on. Pop count.
I voted as best practice because it's built into the language.
Well, absolutely, it is. But A, what does pop count mean semantically? And B, what is the use case for that? Pop count.
Matt knew it, but he reacted with
He
this.
does. No. He definitely knew it. He says he knew it, so he knew it. Oh.
Yeah.
Pop count.
What else is going on here? Okay, total 0. So it's literally just tallying them.
He's using a modulo operator to look for, check each individual bit. You're right. I don't know Crystal.
And bit length at times. Interesting. Bit.
End up bit length.
Oh.
Is
Oh.
interesting.
So it's just a shorter.
That's pretty good. That's using a little whatever. I was gonna say capture operator, but I forget what it's called in Ruby.
It reminds me of Elixir.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Oh, .sum. That's a cool one. You map it to integers and then you just sum it up, right? Because it's ones and zeros. I like that. Crystal has a char type. Boo. All right, here we go. 0 through 32. Dot each. Dot select n dot bit. That's funny.
Sprint F. Here we go.
I mean, that's not that different from what we did.
While bits are being counted. What? I don't understand. What's happening?
So that's the equivalent of saying just while true.
Oh, it's a truthy value. I see. That blew my mind just now.
Fun fact, did you know in Ruby, I don't know about Crystal, but in Ruby you can just say loop do.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, instead of doing while true.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Firefly is just spitting out the solutions.
Really desperate to use that syntax.
This is cool.
Oh, there's a dot count. Interesting. There's a count on the string too. All right, next one.
Next kata. I
Again?
found Rockwell's new pastime. Duplicate encoder. Okay. The goal of this exercise is to convert a string to a new string, where each character in the new string is open paren if that character appears only once in the original string, or a close paren if that character appears more than once in the original string. So no repeats. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel, Ami.
Me.
I'm just trying to prove to Rockwell that Crystal is Ruby.
Crystal's not Ruby. We've already proven that. But
okay,
we'll
so open paren if that character has never appeared in the string. So you'll always have as many characters, right, as there are characters in the string,
no,
and then we'll have to.
That's not what it says. It says if the character appears more than once. Total.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that if there's 3 letters, you will have 3 parens out the other side.
Correct.
Yeah.
One, 2, 3, 4. All right. So there's a group buy in here somewhere. My background is the flea market.
Do you mean like dev backgrounds or actual?
Oh, I assume. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. He doesn't mean our backgrounds. He means our software development backgrounds. That's a very good. It's a very long question. How much time do you have? We're both basically full stack web developers. Sean is doing a lot of JavaScript and TypeScript, but has background in PHP, Laravel, Rails, Elixir, Phoenix, front end.
I would say like JavaScript and Elixir. I don't remember any Ruby really. Didn't really do much. Like I did a little bit of Laravel, but not too much.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I come from mostly Ruby on Rails and Elixir, Phoenix, Cold Fusion.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna put that on my resume, but
C sharp.
yeah, C sharp,
Objective C.
Objective C, Swift.
Yeah. A little bit of everything.
Is HTML a language? I know Microsoft Word. All right, so Word dot chars. I'm going back to the chars. Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Welcome.
Referral.
Yeah, Kid Queb is awesome. He's the whole reason why I'm trying to convince Rockwell that Crystal is Ruby.
I mean, it's not, but, keep trying.
All right, got some for this. Saw Rails dev talk about tally for counting items in an array.
Tally. I like that. So, yeah, back.
Just ignore this, Rockwell.
I am. I already have. I've already wiped it from my mind. Type blindness. That's cool. Thanks for coming by, Ami. And shout out Kid Queb as always. That's a given, though. I'm not doing this. This is all you, man.
I don't know how to do this.
All right, so word.chars. Or actually, we probably don't need to, but let's see if the tally is on string. Hold on, let me go to string type. String type. Tally. I wish this had a search.
Yeah, I do
Nope.
too.
There's no.
Oh, there is one at the top. Here we go. Let's see.
Oh,
wait, this is Crystal 3.5. What am I doing? We need to go with 1.
I'm on 1.0, man.
I wasn't on 1.0. Tally.
It's only on enumerable.
Oh my god.
I think does string do enumerable? Let's see. String
I mean, you can turn a string into, right?
reference object. Yeah, I guess not. So yeah, so again, we're doing the chars thing. Dot tally. Let's see.
Whoa. My night vision or whatever it's called just turned on. Everything's yellow. So tally's only on enumerable, so we need to turn that into the string into an enumerable.
Right, so you're on a dot tally, and then you just, I think that's it. I think chars dot tally probably.
Oh,
And
right. Yeah.
Dot right. And throw that in a variable. Call it whatever thing. So good with the variable naming. I love it. And then now you just do the enum.map. So you do words dot word thing. No. Word dot chars dot map block thing. No, don't call it thing. Thing. And then we're just doing a lookup at this point. Oh, here, hold on. We can do the go back. Get rid of this block. It's garbage. Open parens, ampersand. I don't know. I know how to do this in like 5 other languages, but not in here.
How would you do it in Ruby?
I actually don't even know.
Well, we're doing a block then.
All right. And you just do a lookup on thing. Thing. Just do thing.
So?
That's it. And then you gotta do a ternary operator, so thing. And then or you gotta check compare it to 1 equals 1. Before that, yeah. Nope, too many. Nope, char 1.
Equals 1, right?
Equals
yes,
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where, yeah.
And then you got open paren, close paren.
What?
This is your ternary. So if it's equal to 1, you do an open string, open char, open. It's too meta. Yep. Single quote, open paren, single quote. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Or
colon.
Yeah.
And then at the end you got to do a join here at the very end of the block. Yeah, that should do it. Ship it to prod. Ooh.
It's are we backwards? No, we're not. I expected some Lisp, and you gave me not the right Lisp. I think the equal should be a number, not character, not char.
What's the ASCII code for? Oh yeah, of course. It's the count. It's not the character. It's the count. Failed 2. So close. What about success? Oh, capitalization. Oh, you need a down case in there somewhere. A couple of down cases. And then you also need one at the top too. Yeah. It was not specified. Was it specified capitalization in the instructions?
Ignore capitalization.
Yeah, all right. Fine.
Okay, so we have the string, we downcase it, we get an array of the chars, and then we tally. Tally does just the count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is tally? There it is.
Tally Hall. Shout out to Tally Hall, my favorite band.
Returns a hash where the keys are the elements and the values are the numbers of elements. Okay. So that's why we're doing a lookup, because it's a hash. So we're looking up to, now we're downcasing again. We're looping over them again, and we're mapping, and then we're getting the value of each item. So this is a singular char here. And then we're looking for the value there, and we're saying if it's 1, then do left. If it's not 1, then right.
Mm-hmm. Thing, and then dot join, because you've got a
because you got to put it
array
back
of
together.
chars,
Yeah.
and you got to put it back together as a string.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way to do this, but
I think.
look at you refactoring. It's not even a good name. This is somehow worse.
Words. And then we're going to call this one other word.
Just call it data. All variables are just called data.
Here we go. A.
What are you using camel case, Sean? This is forbidden. The
B.
forbidden case. I mean, it's
No, this is A, and then this is B. Is this why you shouldn't use?
it's not any worse. It's also not any better. If you submit this, it's going to be visible for the whole world to judge you, Sean.
Yes. Here. How do you do it? This is Ruby. Yes.
Oh no!
Rockwell did this. Everyone can see it.
All right, submit it. No, submit it. Oh no! Don't at me.
Shorkwell. You might not get hired if they see this. Yeah, they're gonna do a deep dive, right?
Don't dox me, bro. Good. Ship it. God. Is it really Vim key binding? Is that what you're doing there?
Yeah.
That's wild.
What?
Can you turn off Vim
Do they have
key
block
bindings?
mode? Oh, they have block mode.
Wait, what if I just want that to be a text field?
Just turn off him.
Oh, you can turn it off.
There's also Emacs too.
Can you do both?
I pray to God you can't do both.
No, I mean try to click Emacs. We'll see what happens.
It's so small. Oh, we got some divs and some LIs, huh? And an empty link. I'm gonna close this now.
I mean, at least it's somewhat semantic.
Screw it.
Attempt. What do you got to lose, man? You're the one writing Crystal over here like it's your job. See, here's the thing. Like, I wouldn't even. We were talking about learning new things. This doesn't feel like I'm learning anything new. This is just Ruby, but with more steps.
Hey, that's the same thing.
Yeah, and also it's not as efficient because that's n squared time, where ours is only big O of n. So ours is technically better from an algorithmic standpoint because we have linear time instead of square times.
A and B.
Good old Sean Wash. Classic Sean Wash.
The typing.
All these implementations are worse because they're n squared, Sean. If you're using .count, that's a linear operation. You're doing a linear operation inside a linear operation. So
you're doing the loop,
quadratic.
and then it's counting all of them again. You do a loop, it's going to count the whole
Yeah.
thing again. You do a loop, yeah.
Yeah, we did the count once, which is
Yeah,
linear.
you
We
map
put
it
in
up.
a hash, which has
Yeah.
constant lookup time. Yeah.
This is no, I won't do
Wait, is even the comment editor is in Vim mode?
that. Yeah. That's how I like it.
Wild.
That's how I like it.
Wild. You want every input? Is this just a Safari thing, like or Chrome thing? It's just
You know what blows what's going to blow your mind, Rockwell, is that on my keyboard where caps lock would be, if I hold it down, it turns HJKNL to my arrow keys, and I use that all the time. I think it's called Diamond Cursor. Oh,
Oh no! This is what we call the in the biz the imperative solution.
you know what's weird is it's 8 o'clock and it's still bright as day outside.
We're getting on the approaching that summer solstice, man. You think Crystal optimizes the n squared? I don't know. Maybe.
This time, no story, no theory. The examples below show you how to write function accum.
Oh, proof by example.
The parameter is
A
a
to Z
string.
and A to Z. All right. A, B, B, C, C, D. All right, hold on. Oh. All right, this is easy. Hold on. Yes, so easy. So easy. All right, ready? Let's go. What are you waiting for?
I'm just looking at it. So it uppercases it, and then it duplicates the letter for the position it is. So since this is a third one, it's 3. Fourth, it's 4. Always uppercase first one.
I guess we probably don't have active support, huh?
Well, we yeah.
Hold on. String literal, simple literal. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I know how to do this.
Oh, Shy Ryan's doing it with us, huh? I was dumb in
Yeah.
the big counter because I forgot he named that song. Each char with index.
Yeah, that's one part of it, and the other part is string.titleize, and also multiplication. Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice little helper. Just grab that. Each char with index gives you the char and the index. You know about using what happens when you multiply a string with a number in Ruby?
I was trying to zoom in on the snowman. It's my computer's struggling with this screen share. What were you asking me?
What happens in Ruby when you multiply a string with an integer?
You can't see my terminal right now, can you?
No.
Good, because I don't have it open.
Well, you don't have Crystal installed, so maybe
I
you
do.
do.
I do.
Did you
Brew
install it?
install Crystal.
No, ASDF, man. You've already lost.
I use ASDF for most things. Is there ASDF Crystal?
I don't know.
I was having some weirdness with like npm and npm RCs and stuff, so I use MVM for Node, but everything else I use. Yeah, it looks like there's crystal. Neat. All right, so is there a REPL for crystal?
I assume just crystal.
What's the one for Ruby? Is ERB?
IRB.
That's right. ERB is the template.
Interactive.
Yeah, so it just duplicates a string.
Mhm.
I knew this.
Yeah, I know. I knew you knew it.
Crystal
Crystal
Play.
Play.
Whoa.
It makes a website you can go to. Oh, no good REPL at the moment. Interesting. But it makes. It's just. I'm confused by that.
Oh, like a local.
It's a
Here.
local server.
Yeah.
You pull it up?
Yeah. Got it right here.
Ah, okay. All right. That's a thing. Crystal is awesome. Not sure.
There's no Vim mode. It confused me.
Did you know that macOS inputs have Emacs key bindings by default?
Sorry, what'd you say? Yeah,
All
yeah.
the
I did know that.
inputs in macOS have inputs like Control A, Control D.
What is happening?
It's going to space, Sean. Still Material UI minus. Just keep decrementing more demerits for Material UI, man.
Oh, why did my computer just shift back off of night mode?
Dude,
night
that
shift?
happened to me today too. It went into night mode. No, yesterday this happened to me. I was editing the show, and it was like around sunset time. The thing went into night mode, and I was like, okay, that's fine. That's what I have to do. And then it just went out like randomly a couple minutes later. Something screwy there.
I
Some
borked
kinda
it.
iCloud sync thing, man.
I don't have multiple. Oh, actually, let me look. My CPU is dying though, so that's doing something. No, just one. Boom, killed it.
Boom.
I can hear Watson snoring in the background.
Crystal's so good. I love this. This is such a good development experience, Sean. The spinner is pretty cool. Look, it's got the green, blue, then it's red, and it's yellow. It's like the Google colors. You click stop, it should stop it, right? What in the world? I'm sorry, Matt. You know I'm just giving you a
Bang.
hard time, right? I do think this is pretty cool, actually.
Watson is sawing logs behind me. Okay, so now it's fresh.
Big
Message port was closed. Oh, and now I got logs in the Crystal console.
Oh.
Refresh.
Great.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I quit it. Okay, we're opening back up. Refresh. I don't know what's happening. Every time I open it up, my CPU spikes way high. Oh, output it worked.
It outputs something.
Oh, it auto refreshes when I change the code. That's neat. I really wish you could hear Watson behind me. He sounds like when you're downstairs and someone's vacuuming upstairs. And the vacuum like really digs into the carpet, you know? It could be Mac because I'm doing a screen share and green screen cutout at the same time on a 4-core CPU.
So does Crystal have a interpreter? Like, does it have a virtual machine that it runs on, or what's the runtime look like for Crystal?
Yeah, so it does what Ruby does.
All right, so we're back to our
It's
yeah.
just Ruby.
It's just Ruby, Sean. I don't know why I have to keep saying this. It's just Ruby. All right, so plug in their function that people have been spamming at you in chat.
Which
No
one?
pressure.
Each char with index.
Yeah.
Each chart with index.
No charts.
Where? No, I closed it. Oh my god. Okay,
It's
thank
so
you.
obvious. There you go.
Okay, it takes a block, char, and index.
It gets compiled to LLVM. Ah, okay. Cool. But it has a garbage collector. Makes sense.
Compiled by LLVM, same
Cool.
as Rust.
That is really appealing. Now that I understand that, this is actually really appealing.
What is it? What is it compiled to?
It compiles to native binaries, basically. Is
Okay.
what he's saying. I
Which
think.
is why it's so fast then.
Yeah. I mean, except for that, whatever that web thing was.
Yeah.
So,
what are we doing again? So
yeah,
we need to
so-
figure out which chart it is. We need to do we need to do sentence title case or whatever it is, and then multiply it by the index. So we would do char. Well, can you do title case on a char, or does it have to be a string?
I think if you do char times index, I think you'll get a string out. I'm really projecting here, and then you titleize that whole boy. Yeah.
Title eyes.
Eyes. Yeah, I think that's right. No, you had it right with an E. Yeah, it looks wrong, but it's right. It's a made-up word, anyways. And then
We're separated by dashes, right?
yeah.
Is it title eyes? Yes, it is. Oh,
MetaLab's website is very pretty.
title eyes. Yeah, metalab.co.com. That's right. That's right.
It's .net.
Shout out to the careers page.
Oh, you recruiting now?
Looking for senior web dev.
You doing Elixir?
You will be writing a lot of TypeScript.
Nope. Hard pass.
A lot of TypeScript. Let's see, engineering lead as well. That's my role. We're hiring for another one of my roles as well. Again, a lot of TypeScript. Also Jira.
Real selling point there.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it quite a bit actually.
It's because you're good at it.
I didn't work on any of this stuff though. Yep. The blog, I forgot we even had one.
You should be writing on it. You should be blogging
pretty.
about it.
Well, you've talked about it a little bit.
This looks like Medium. This is not Medium.
MuleSoft, okay. Intern doing
MuleSoft.
API, MuleSoft, and SQL mainly. Had
What
a
is
perfect job.
MuleSoft?
They're a consulting firm, I think, out of one of my friends used to. You know Sarah. Sarah used to work at MuleSoft, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, Salesforce thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Neat. That'd be a cool job.
Serverless.
Yeah, senior engineers and engineer lead. TypeScript.
Big in the insurance sector.
All right, so we need to Append a dash only if we're not on the last index, though.
Dot join.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Functional, man. Yep, right there.
Sorry, the dogs are barking.
Yeah, we can hear.
Oh.
Yep, that's the right. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Ship it.
This feels weird.
Oh no, what happened? Oh, it didn't like that. It doesn't like that for char.
Char
So you have
times
to go
index.
Char dot two string two s. No, you're right. Yeah, you just gotta coerce it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You might also be able to do string dot new char comma. Oh, didn't like that either.
And dot join. Undefined method join for nil.
Oh, we forgot a dot map there after the each with index. Nope. At the top before the block.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Eaches don't return anything. You'll have to push to a string.
No, we're mapping. We map in functional world. Everything's map and reduce and
error is expected to be invoked with a block, but no block was given. I see.
Boo,
We ain't
can't do it.
functional.
Ah, shoot.
Things back.
Did you guys get started in front-end dev by yourselves or through jobs? There were like 2 classes in college about front-end dev, and I have little knowledge, but would like to work with front-end stuff rather than just data and APIs. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I got started, I guess not through jobs. I actually started freelancing in front end. So this was, I don't even know, like 2009 maybe. I was doing just like light HTML and CSS work. I had a bunch of designer friends and they were doing freelance too, and they needed a web developer to put together WordPress themes. So that's kind of how I got my start in front end. I went from HTML, CSS, very, very, very light PHP to jQuery stuff for interactivity. And from there, I did that for a few years. And from there, I got a job doing front-end dev.
Yeah, I just do it because I have to. I'm not a designer, pick up what you have to. I'm gonna tweak this question. They're asking about, how did you get into it? I think they're really asking, what they really want to ask is, how would you get into front end dev today with not having anything about it? I think you're more qualified to talk about that, but it's a great question.
Watts is making wild noises. So how would you, is that what you're extending to? How would you get into it today?
Yeah.
Is your goal, is your goal to, I guess your goal would be to switch roles, right? If that were the case, the most surefire way, because of market share, would be to dip into React.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that React is not my favorite, but it's definitely the leader right now in things that has the tons of supporting stuff around it, is very marketable from a hiring perspective, tons of learning resources. It's big in companies that are big and enterprisey,
And you could use I would probably use Create React app for a long time, or for a while at least, to generate kind of the bones of whatever you want to make, and that way it gets you from not knowing anything about React into being able to build a website without having to do all the plumbing yourself. So it's a good intro to time to first pixel on the screen, basically.
You took my phrase.
Yeah.
It wasn't even my phrase.
This is what I would probably use.
React is it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of I do a lot of interviews and stuff, and we get a lot of Create React apps, and it's kind of nice. We ask for rationale as to why you picked the tools you did, and a lot of people are like, I don't need to demonstrate, doing the plumbing. I want to focus on the UX of this code test. So that's what I did actually when I applied. I used Create React app as well. Most of my friends from college were graphic designers and design websites and apps, thinking about taking their mock-ups and just trying to build. That's exactly how I learned. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny. It's funny you mention that because I was feeling a little nostalgic yesterday because Reddit is shutting down Reddit GIFs, which was originally called Reddit Secret Santa, which is originally a thing started in 2009 by just like one guy. You know, one guy started Secret Santa. He ran the website, and then eventually, a couple of years later, Reddit like took it over and built it in, and now they're shutting it down. And so I was reminiscing about that because I was actually part of that first Reddit Secret Santa in 2009. And what happened was the guy was looking for help designing the website, and to your like exactly what you're saying, he had some mock-ups, but needed someone to code them up. And like I'm like, I can help with that. You know, that's how it didn't look great. You know, it was Christmas, so it was this awful like red and green color scheme, right? It looked like garbage, but I was able to actually contribute to that project, and do that by taking a Photoshop mock-up and turning it into a real design. And so that is definitely like, and that was, I was still in college, and I was a junior in college. Like, that's definitely like a really valuable skill, and it's fun to do, honestly. I like making that stuff kind of like pixel perfect. Now, coming up with the design, that's a whole other thing. I'm not good at that, but give me the design and tell me to put it in code, and I can do that. And yeah, making it reactive and making it actually something you can click around on with React.
If I met the new for top level, so interesting. So you could literally just do
array.new, I think, right? Oh, colon.
So the documentation was like array. Oh, .new. That's right. That's right. That's right. This is not.
Man. This is Crystal.
Oh my God.
This is Crystal, Sean. It's not Ruby. It's not JavaScript. I like this though.
Expected. So it's joining with dash. There's a dash in the front. Skipping Z. Z is missing.
You're missing a bunch here. Thing.push.
Yeah.
You have to do thing.push there. Thing.push hyphen. In your loop there. Yeah, after that line. Oh, I see. Array strings. Okay, hold on. Char. Oh, you need a index +1 probably.
Oh, because times 0, right?
Yeah.
0 index.
Yeah.
Crystal.
No, you got a parens.
Son of a.
Remember PEMDAS? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We did it. Good job. I gotta dig this up. I was looking on archive.org for the original Reddit GIF site. Let's see.
I love how all of my answers just have thing and thing.
It's like the mark of your like serial killers.
X dot upcase plus X dot downcase to string. Interesting.
All right, let's see. X
times
plus.
I.
Wait.
So it's always going to upcase the first one, and then for this is 0 first, so it's not going to do it at all.
Times I. Yeah, I like ours better. I like Titleize better personally, but
s.chars.map with index. I kind of like this formatting a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like a pipeline, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Suspiciously.
Map with index. C to upcase, kind of doing the same thing. A to new I 0. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's the syntax I was trying to get you to do, where it's like instead of doing the multiplication, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Make an array with X number of spaces and fill it with these values.
Yeah, the second arg is the default value for the array of that size. Yeah.
It feels weird. Make an array with no space, and the value is that it's like a parking spot with there's no middle. It's just two lines. Yeah, everyone's pretty similar in this one. Here we go.
Capitalize.
Here we
Hold
go.
on.
So block syntax instead of do end, it's
Downcase chars map with map with index. Yeah, see that's a better yeah, instead of each char with index, just chars that map with index.
mm.
Dot capitalize
Oh no.
thing.
This one's long.
No, it's not. It's easy. Hold on. Given two arrays A and B, write a function or comps same that checks whether the two arrays have the same elements with the same multiplicities. Same here means that the elements in B are the elements in A squared. Multiplicities. What? The elements in B are the elements in A squared regardless of order. Yeah, so just dot sort and square and compare. Easy. Yeah, this is easy. This is easy, Sean.
There's a lot of notes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We got this. Last one. Last one and then bedtime. Then I'll let you go. It's just crystal, Sean. Everything's just crystal.
It's just Ruby, Rockwell. Don't mind these. This is Ruby 4.
Okay, here's what we do. Hold on. Let me think about the crazy way to do this. Okay, ready? It's going to be easier for us to type this out because it's going to be an abomination. I'm putting it in the Twitch chat. Dot all? Is there an enumerable dot all? All question mark? Yes.
Trying to do exorcisms with Rack at the same time. Ooh, exorcism's pretty cool too. Yo, Ami, if you're still around,
All right, this is what I got. I
I can't copy paste that. Hold on, let me go to Twitch. Yo, Ami, if you're still around and you want to talk more about front end stuff or ever want to ask more questions, feel free to join the Discord. We're always there.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on by, ask questions, especially if you're curious about like what you should learn or like have questions, specific questions about things. Lots of cool people over there to help you out. I think this is wrong. I think this is syntax error.
This is Stack Overflow right here. I just copied and pasted this out of a Twitch chat. Could be anything.
Could be RM-RF star.
Yeah. A1 sort zip, A2 sort map. I don't think I've ever used zip actually, like in my regular work. Well,
So-
never mind. I think I may have used it once.
I literally wrote this without even thinking about it. So, map thing, sort map thing squared all AB. It's better. Thank you.
Oh my!
Oh, what happened there?
It's probably because I'm zoomed way in. Nope.
So zip, what it does is it takes two arrays of the same length and makes an array of arrays where each thing is like paired up.
Right.
That was fun.
Like a zipper.
Like a zipper, exactly. You got thing A and thing B, and you zoop. So my idea was you take array 1, you sort it ascending, then you take array 2, and you sort it ascending, and then you square. Oh no, you don't have to square. No, I did that. I squared the wrong thing. You want to square array 1, not square array 2. So change this into math. So change that. Go back up, back. So backspace. You want to do square root of thing in this block. Math.sqrt.
What?
Don't square the thing. Take the square root of the thing. Yeah. That's it. And don't. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Matt. It is backwards. Oh no.
I'm zoomed too far in.
Index out of bounds error.
Backtrace.
I think yeah, the problem is we have to return false if the lengths are not the same. So return false if a1.length is not a2.length. That's the only way zip will work if they're exactly the same length. It's just Ruby, Sean. No double equal sign. Get out of here with that.
Strict equality. ESLint will be complaining. Error undefined method length for array. Count?
Count. Ruby has aliases for all that stuff, but apparently Crystals does not.
Count is expected to be invoked with the block, but given no block
dot
was given.
size? Dot size. Try dot size.
Oh my god.
No. Matt, help us. How do you figure out the length of an array? It's not length, apparently. Oh, man.
How long does it take two senior engineers to figure out how to count the number of items in an array?
We need a loop and dot size, huh? I don't even
Yeah.
know if that works in Ruby.
I wish
I
the
al-
search engine would, the search bar would stick to the top. Is there a keyboard shortcut for popping open the search? That'd be nice. Sized file.
I mean, I do like that count requires you to take a block. Like that's a good thing. Like it's a good differentiator between count and size, right? Count is a thing that you're counting the number of items that pass the test. Versus
oh, cool. You can just do that.
I bet there's a VS Code plugin for this.
There is in fact a JetBrains plugin. And a Vim plugin, and whatever else you need.
I let my JetBrains plugin subscription lapse. See you, Sultan.
Yeah, see you, man.
See, like, you see why I can get into this stuff and just go all day? Like, it really just gets the brushes the dust off.
Yeah,
those neurons.
I want to get more into this kind of stuff. I get
right.
mad. Like exorcism is. Oh, you can't see that. Exorcism is fun, but I get stuck on not language things. I get stuck on problem things a lot. Like actually solving the actual problem, not like learning how to use a language to solve that. Like it's a lot easier to learn a language to exorcism if you know how to solve the base problem that you're being given.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exorcism is a good one though. If any people haven't tried it out, it's pretty fun.
Wait. Have you ever heard of the game Human Resource Manager?
Yeah, I feel like that sounds familiar.
I think that's what it's called. Yes. No, human. Oh God, I'm blanking. Human Resource Machine. This game,
I think you told me about this.
probably. This game is on like every platform. You don't have to play it on your phone. It's on PC at least I know. So this game, it's a puzzle solving game, right? You progress through the levels. But what this game doesn't tell you is that it's actually teaching you assembly. Like the concepts that it teaches you and the instruction set that it gives you to solve the puzzles is literally, like I took a college course on this stuff. Like, but they gamify it in such a way that is really, really, really scratches that itch. So
I'll have to check it out.
it's definitely a thing that I think is cool. I'm surprised it's still $5 on the App Store, but and they have a sequel to it. It's called I don't know, but there's a sequel. But honestly, the base game is still totally like, good. It's got this fun little cubicle office space aesthetic.
What is Pharaoh?
Wasn't
Small
that the
talk.
OCaml thing?
Small talk.
Oh, this is what Space Chem is also like this. Anything by Zachtronics. Space Chem. This looks like Factorio.
It does.
Oh no, but this is like Orgo 101. What the world? Sean, what are you look? No. What? What is that?
I'm just clicking on links.
Is that Cold Fusion at the top?
CFML.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can we do this in Cold Fusion?
Cold Fusion markup. Actually, yeah, there is. I believe that Exorcism does have
Oh my god.
Kata. We didn't submit that one, but that's fine.
Assembly chemicals, that's cool. Like a stoichiometry kind of thing.
CFML. Here we go. Beta.
Oh no. Of course it's beta.
Return negative.
Of course the 20-year-old language is beta. I don't even know.
Oh my.
All right, hold on. Make native required American word.
It would be fun to do a stream where we. What's up, kid? You've been missing some, Crystal. It'd be fun to do some stream where we sit on this and then people just say, "Okay, now do it in this language."
Just go through the whole list.
Scala, R, Python, PHP. I don't even know what NASM is.
We were looking at Haskell, right? Like that's a
Go, Elixir, C#, Crystal.
Oh God.
I've never written
this is
Cold
not
Fusion.
even CFML. This is CF script, which is a different thing. So technically, it's already wrong. How do you do absolute value in Cold Fusion? I think it's just yeah, I know. Components was Cold Fusion's attempt to do object-oriented. Anyway, close this before my eyes start bleeding.
Right. Yeah, it's probably time to
Yeah. Jesus, 11:30 here.
get out of here.
That was fun though.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do. I can just sit like when Netflix is on. I can just sit on my iPad and do some Code Wars.
You can do Xcode in the cloud now.
Oh, that's right.
apparently.
That is right. My iPad is on the beta, so I could probably do that.
Already? You're
Yeah.
bold.
I don't really. I mean, I use like notes to draw on it. That's all I use my iPad for.
Have you tried the
So-
text OCR thing?
Rust. No, I haven't tried that yet. Rust seems cool. How do we do this in Rust?
I'll have you know that I'm an expert in Rust.
Is Rust not even in here?
I got this much through the book. Therefore, I know everything there is to know.
All right, Rockwell.
You're not sharing your screen anymore.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, step 1, tell everyone you're doing it in Rust.
All right, Rockwell.
If you don't tweet about it being in Rust, did it even happen? I don't know, man.
You gotta export that const.
I don't even
I won't make you do this.
this
I don't want to ruin your night.
Too late. Too late for that.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, but thanks for sticking around for our very simple code challenges.
Thanks for
kind of fun actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's better than trying to figure out why Prisma is holding on to database connections.
Hey, Ebernart. Thank you.
And welcome.
Thanks for stopping by.
What were we saying?
Can you even write it in Rust? If someone didn't already write it for you to rewrite. To be fair, that's how I feel about Elixir and Rails a lot of the time. Hey, cool. Long time listener, first time chatter. That's awesome.
Yeah, we were just telling someone else about the Discord, but everyone's always welcome to join the Discord. A lot of people hanging out, talking code.
That is weird. PHP to Elixir.
PHP to Elixir, some weirdo. I did the opposite for like a couple of months.
It takes all types, man.
Yeah. Laravel's been great. Like Laravel was a perfect solution, especially the ETL side of things, like having Laravel Excel. Like all the problems are already solved. It was super nice. Ruby to Crystal.
Matt, you're what they call the target audience. What is all this Crystal stuff, man? Why is everyone talking about it? I get it's 1.0 now.
It's because Nick.
Never wrote
Nick.
production Ruby.
Are you gonna do a Crystal stream this weekend? I forget. Kid, like he talks to me about Crystal every now and then. We look at it, and I was just re-looking at. I think I was frustrated with some of the Express stuff, like just how much is not there. I don't know.
Is there a Crystal on Rails?
Yeah, it's Lucky framework.
Oh, Lucky. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at earlier, and you're basically like, this looks like Rails. It's because somebody from Thoughtbot made Lucky.
Got it.
There's also what Amber framework I think it's called.
Yeah.
For Crystal, that is. But yeah, Lucky seems really approachable because familiar maybe is a better way to put it. Looks very familiar. You only trade like ecosystem and probably tooling and other stuff. I never liked Rails, which is why I left Laravel. It's like it wants to be Rails so bad. I could see that. See here, Rockwell.
No, I was just giving you the spotlight.
I could see that. I think
fired up.
there's actually a lot of things I like about Laravel way more than I liked about Rails. And yeah, I think like the magic can be frustrating in Laravel for sure. But like seeing somebody like Jaggy that's so proficient in it, just be able to build like this world so quickly was pretty wild.
I'm with you, Ryan. Explicitness over magic every time.
You're required to say that.
Give me the box. Give me Pandora's box. I want to open it and dive in head first. And
where's your Elixir
my hands
Conf
dirty.
badge? Where's it at? Mine's upstairs actually. Used Laravel since 3. Yeah.
I don't care if I have to dive into a thing as long as I have the breadcrumb trail to as long as I'm got the string behind me through the Minotaur's maze and I can get myself out again.
Oh, Code Igniter. There's a name I have not heard in a long time. And KHP Code Igniter. I'm gonna have to. These are back in the day. These are like pre. I won't say they're pre-Symfony, but they're like the OG PHP frameworks.
Okay. It's a very small footprint, Sean.
Yeah.
Simple
when was
and
this even
elegant.
like first? release. But there's also Cake PHP,
I've heard of that.
CodeIgniter on
On
Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver. Wow.
Wow, new website. I haven't like thought about Cake PHP in so long.
Just as
Wild.
tasty, Sean. Look at all those metaphors, cake metaphors.
It's good for Chronos.
It's just a bunch of nonsense words.
There's an article by Chris Keithley on Elixir that's on the front page of HN right now. 7 years ago, he made the initial implementation of the web app I work on. Yeah, I bet.
Carbon.
Carbon's the daytime stuff, I think, right? I very, very briefly used it. Then there's Yi, like Nick is talking about. And I think Craft CMS uses Yi. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Is that what it stands for?
Fast, secure, efficient framework. Yeah.
Is that a real thing? Did you just get a terminal right there and a Docker image that you can just start screwing with?
Oh, it's a slider. I was really confused. I was like,
how great would it be if every time the page got a request, it spun up a new Docker image?
oh my God. That would be wild. Again, I haven't used Craft CMS in a long time either. I think they're still kicking.
I like that font. What is that font? It's kind of cool. Actually, it's kind of gross the longer I look at it.
There used to be a font it's a Kanban Light.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract from the PHP nostalgia here, but it's interesting. That's what?
That's kind of nice.
It does look nice. It's a nice font, Brent.
Just opening the dev tools destroyed my CPU. Yeah, Craft was awesome. I used Craft quite a bit back in the day.
This is the thing that serves up like JSON, right? And then you can just kind of do what you want with it.
Craft was Command Shift T. Craft is a CMS, but it's like block based. So whereas WordPress, you kind of had like one input, and then you had like you added plugins and they added fields to the admin. Craft CMS is like schema based, so you actually design the CMS around the shape of your content. So there's like a form builder like this.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I guess has a GraphQL API now. There's also Craft Commerce, which was pretty okay. I think we did one project with that back in the day too. Yeah. Pretty neat.
Blog about it.
I'm the only one of my group of friends who switched to Elixir. Everyone else switched to Go.
So you're the cool kid in the group. Got it. This false dichotomy. I can still see your screen, Sean, by the way. They can't, but I can. Just warning you.
I'm just looking at the reviews for this game.
It's good on mobile. It's actually pretty well suited for mobile.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming around, Ebernart.
Yeah.
PHP to Go. I didn't mind Go when I was learning it for the interviews and stuff.
Forced to learn it.
I think it wouldn't be my first choice for building a web app. I don't think, but it's very much like Node isn't really my first choice for building a web app, because it's very much like you got to build a lot of stuff and you have to glue a lot of stuff together. That's just my opinion. But yeah. We can get you out of here, Rockwell. It's getting late over there.
Yeah, man.
I find Go is a weird middle ground between high level. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. It was sort of like in between the two.
Well, because it's marketed like Rust as a, like you call it, a systems language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm still not really sure what what that means. I think what they're trying to say is it runs close to the metal, right? Like it compiles down to something that's pretty close to C without the hassle of and problems that C brings. Is that accurate, you think?
So like yeah. So Abenar says they're doing a media stream server in Go, which seems like a good fit for Go, right?
Yeah,
but like if you're just doing a CRUD web app, you can almost get those out of the box these days without having to rebuild the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Ruby the reason that Ruby on Rails exists is because like Ruby is nice to write, and guess what? Ruby is nice to write because it's run on an interpreter that like takes a ton of the guesswork out of out of there for you and gives you, you don't have to worry about, it has a garbage collection, it has, really, really, really dynamic typing and inheritance that's crazy and module, like it does all this stuff at runtime that you can get away with monkey patching, right? Like, and that's what makes it kind of nice to write. I'm using air quotes, but so I could see why having that extra overhead of doing things just for the performance reason would make it kind of slow you down when you're just trying to ship the thing. But how nice would it be to just literally have a single binary and just deploy it to a server and you're done?
Dino. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, real microservices with gRPC. I half agree with you. Actually, I zero agree with you. I mean, I get the use case, but I wouldn't do either of those things personally.
Yeah, you don't have a use for it, really.
Yeah, but I don't have a use for it. That's true. Yeah, the coroutines thing. I gotta say, man, after using the actor model in Elixir, in Erlang world, and now I guess apparently Swift is going to support actors natively out of the box.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Which is kind of thing, and it's like I really, really, really can wrap my head around that concurrency model. So, yeah. Coroutines are kind of weird. Right, Sean? Did you do any coroutine stuff with your?
I didn't need to get that deep into it.
Okay.
Again, they asked me to build a web app, so that's what I built.
If you need to build a web scale.
I got into GraphQL CodeGen and an ORM and all that stuff.
So, JavaScript stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Ruby, Python, whatever. Prisma, if you like. I gotta say,
right?
Prisma was kind of nice with Railway, where I just said Railway run Prisma Studio on the production environment, and then I was just like, I had a database view, just changing stuff. It's kind of nice. Anyway, all right, we're digressing now. We can take this to the Discord.
It's like another 3 episodes worth of content here.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Thanks for sticking around for this nonsense. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Sean. You too. Get back to work over there. Sell some paper.
Stanley's got it covered.
He's been working hard over there the whole time.
Stanley right behind me. He hasn't moved once.
He's really stuck on that crossword.
Yeah, he fell asleep with the crossword puzzle. All right. See you, everybody.
Have a good night.